Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Hey guys, have you checked out the all-new Park West Bicycle Casino? With a new owner, fresh renovations, and upgraded amenities, it's a whole new way to experience LA's premier table game casino. From poker, blackjack, ultimate Texas Hold'em, and Baccarat, they've got all the action for ESPN LA listeners. Brand new players who sign up for their Players Reward get $30 in match play. Just say, Cappy sent me to get $30 in match play. Park West Bicycle Casino.
Please gamble responsibly. Problemgambling.ca.gov. 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGR-001291. GAR-001292. GAR-001298. BSIS license number 1358.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ. That's JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MBA. The Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Let's go. It's time for Sedano and Kap.
A little sabor.
And we're going to just nosh.
It is George Sedano. It is Scott Kaplan. Sedano and Kap is on for your Thursday afternoon.
I'm going to have to say respectfully, I'm going to disagree.
Okay, why is that?
I don't know.
Here we go, Thursday, May 29th edition of the LA Afternoon Drive Takeover. Sedano has the afternoon off to recover from all those extra YouTube hours. Meanwhile, the one and only Mike Trudell is here in for Shaq.
Ball knowers.
Exactly right. Cappy is in South. Producer Lindsay and Kasim is in for producer DeAndre. The young D on the board. Kasim on the ones and twos. And, of course, the social team in the back, which apparently is pissing off a lot of people in the YouTube chat. Keep it up, guys, in the back, please. It's fun. Why not? Meanwhile, you know what could be fun? The Indiana Pacers taking care of the Knicks tonight at the Garden. That begins at 5 p.m. We'll bring it to you on 7:10 a.m. and on the all-new ESPN LA app, the ESPN tile. Meanwhile, we'll have YouTube only at 5 p.m. at ESPN Los Angeles on YouTube and the Listen Live tile on the ESPN LA app. Yesterday, of course, well, we got into some things. I still feel embarrassed and ashamed of it, but Cappy's probably okay with it. Let's play the clip about the chicken quesadilla. How about that?
Cappy, what did you have?
I want to having a chicken quesadilla, please.
Oh, my God.
On the side of walk? Yeah. There are like 12 different Mexican restaurants in this place, and they're all serving the exact same stuff.
Things went downhill from there, frankly. But it's my fault for encouraging Cappy, I guess. Let's get to it. The LA Afternoon Drive Takeover.
A Jerusalem cherry.
He likes to lay the wood.
Yeah. You say Kikuchi.
Wacky forced radio stunt of the year. Ha-ha!
Christopher can go to hell. Oh, nothing worse than the horse. Nah, man, black don't crack.
Benjamin Pratt is like, how do you say his name? Asminger?
Asminger. Hey, these Hard Knocks guys are all over me right now. It's like I'm in back in Dayton. You are a bit killer.
Because you got to talk about sperm?
I mean, look at me. I'm a hot piece of ass. I mean, look at him.
I'm on with Sedano.
Ball knowers.
Yamaliava. Because I thought it was like, I'm a leaving.
A duck butt. What is that?
Sedano and Kap with Mike Trudell. Your Wednesday afternoon right now.
Bing, ba-da-bum. Come on, Mike Trudell. Bing, ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum, bick-a-ding, da-da-bum. Boom, ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum, bick-a-ding, da-da-bum. Bing, da-da-bum, dig-dig-dig-dig-doo-doo-doo. Yeah. Boom, ba-da-bum. That's good. That's good. Boom,
Hey, Cappy.
ba-da-bum. Oh, that's real good. You hit that high note
I was trying to hit it.
nicely.
Yeah, I was holding back a little bit, though.
Why, you can get higher?
Well, I didn't want the voice to crack, but I suppose I should just go for it full out next time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What's
All
up, man?
right. Mike Trudell is in for Sedano. Kasim is running the operation today in for DeAndre.
Yeah. What's up, Kasim? Where are you from?
I'm from Seattle originally.
Seattle?
Yeah.
Oh, tough times for you.
I know, yeah. It sucks seeing the Thunder advance.
One of my best buddies from Seattle just texts me every time the Thunder hit a shot with the increasingly like the dead emojis and I hate my life and on. And, yeah, so I feel for you, man.
I mean, the curse is still in effect, so. You know,
oh, okay.
It'll suck to lose in the finals.
You tell him, Kasim. Hey, Kasim.
They're not losing, man. I'm sorry.
Kasim, no, you tell him, number one, they could still lose. When my man Tyrese Halliburton in Indiana finally decides to wrap this thing up against the Knicks, Tyrese Halliburton and Indiana got the best chance of beating OKC of anybody they've played so far other than Denver.
It's not happening.
But, Kasim, I'm going to tell you something right now. I feel for you. I feel for you. And I love ya. You know that song, Kasim?
I do not know that song, no.
You don't know that song? You don't know any Shaka Khan?
That is no.
Really? You don't know Shaka Khan?
I know Shaka Khan, but I don't know that the way that you presented it, Cappy, I don't know that it immediately clicked for me.
Oh, listen one more time. I feel for you. And I love ya. Oh, yeah, that's good.
That's not bad.
That's good. Put it this way. My girl Jody Watley's out there listening right now, and Jody Watley's like, my boy Cap can hold a tune. That's what she's saying right now.
All right.
I think. Anyway, I do feel for you, Kasim. If you are a Supersonics fan and you hated the fact that Seattle moved to Oklahoma City, then today you should still be hating the fact that Oklahoma City is going to the finals. If by chance the Chargers, God forbid, should ever make it to the Super Bowl, the only thing that would be the saving grace for a guy like me would be to see them lose in the Super Bowl. So, Kasim, I want you to know something, Kasim. I am with you. I am rooting for whoever, presumably Indiana, plays against Oklahoma City in solidarity with your town, Seattle. What you think about that?
That means a lot, honestly. I'm not going to lie. But I think, yeah, definitely if they do lose in the finals, I think that might be, like, more fulfilling than us actually getting our team back.
Yeah,
just to see the faces of, like, you know.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. They're not going to lose.
LeBron has always said he would rather not make the playoffs at all than lose in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I go the other way on that one, Cappy. Of course, it sucks the most in terms of just emotionally and the drain and everything that you put into it. But I still think you always take the absolute most wins. That, like, if somebody's like, here, pick between for the season 73 wins or 72, you take 73. I don't care when the series ends. You always try to win the most games you can. That's my feeling.
Yeah, but you know that I have LeBron and we have a love-hate relationship, and some of the things that he does I hate, and some of the things that he says or does I love. I happen to agree with LeBron on this one. I'd rather not make the playoffs than get all the way to the finals and lose, only because of the 30 or so games maybe it's not that, maybe it's 22 or 3, that you put that wear and tear on your body.
Yeah, okay, but that's why you play, right? So like, I'm just thinking back to high school, and we got to the state semifinals, right? So this long, big run, both sophomore year and senior year. Lose in the semis in both games. Then you have to play in the third place game. At the time, it was at the Metrodome, right? The semi wasn't, so it's like, okay, you're in the Metrodome, but the best you can do is get third place. So that semifinal loss still stings more than anything ever. But I wouldn't replace that by not making a run to get there. You know,
well,
you still want that, and just for the experience. Like, it's one thing if you've been there 10 times, but the best teams rarely actually win a title until they lose, whether in the finals or at least the conference finals. You have to go through that, Cappy.
I can appreciate the high school glory, Michael Trudell. I really can.
Well, it wasn't glory. That's what I'm saying. That it was pain.
But you were battling for glory.
But I would take the pain of that moment rather than just like losing in round one. And maybe it's different from an NBA equivalent, but I also think it's easier maybe for LeBron looking back because he was in the finals every year. But if you don't cross that threshold and you don't know how much
Cleveland, this is for you.
If you don't know, like, that there's a difference between intensity level every round that you go in the playoffs, and I think that's one of the reasons why Oklahoma City, I think, looked that much better coming out of that crazy series against Denver that goes 7, and they really have to struggle with Jokic. Now they're like, oh wait, okay, we now played a team that has won it in recent years. That's the intensity level that second round series went through. So they then carry that forward into the conference finals against the Timberwolves. And I felt like that confidence that they had from the previous year's run, Cappy, that's a big part of why I think they're going to go obviously they're going to the finals, but I think they're going to win it all.
Mike Trudell is in for Sedano. And Mike, we got a lot to get to as the day goes on. Obviously, we're going to talk about what Oklahoma City accomplished last night, but also the criticism thereafter for Anthony Edwards. I really want you to hear what he had to say in the postgame and get your opinion as to why people are ripping them all over the country. We'll get to that coming up. Also tonight, obviously, Indiana and New York, Game 5 in New York. This is a game, Mike, that I know we'll get deeper into. I got to think New York wins this game. I got to think that the NBA wants this series to continue. I got to think that the NBA wants to see another playoff game before they get to the finals. I'm going with New York to win the game. I figure Indiana will win it when they get home, but we'll go deeper into that. What's your opening thought on that one tonight?
Well, I like about half of what you said there. Like, I wish personally, as somebody that is invested in the NBA, that we're not just done and then the NBA Finals doesn't start for like a full week. So I'm certainly hoping that the Knicks can rally. I think Indiana is the slightly better team. I picked them to win the series. That hasn't changed. But can the Knicks rally and win one home game? Yes. I think the problem when you're down 3-1, though, Cappy, is like finding that real belief that you can win 3 straight games. The Cavs did it right recently with LeBron, but I think that was in part because they knew Draymond was suspended for Game 5, and then they essentially just they were going to have Game 6 at home, and they essentially it was going to come down to like, can they win one game, which they did. It's very difficult in this kind of situation with a healthy Pacers team. So I don't know that the Knicks fully believe, and therefore I worry that the Pacers just take care of business tonight and end it.
I can tell you this: Minnesota did not believe last night.
Yeah, exactly. That's the corollary, right?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, we gave you our best shot in Game 4. It wasn't enough,
right?
And it's tough to really believe. Like you can kind of walk through things and pretend like you believe, but you got to really believe.
Yeah, Minnesota did not believe last night, and everybody in the world knew it by halftime. So we'll just get things rocking and rolling. When we return, I'm going to say this. Mike and I should probably clear the air before we go deeper into what happened last night between Minnesota and Oklahoma City, and before we start looking ahead to what's going to happen between the Knicks and the Pacers. I'll explain the whole clear the air thing in a matter of moments. But
what did I do?
Well, it's not what you did. I just want to make sure that we're cool.
Okay.
Based on all of the mistakes that have been made over the last couple of weeks.
I've got some apprehension about this, but I'll give you my honest feelings. Okay? That's all I can promise you.
Speaking of your honest feelings, let me tell you that I want your honest feelings when it comes to severe water damage. Okay, what are your honest feelings? Are you honestly going to try and negotiate with the insurance company, or are you going to honestly call Avner Gatt and let Avner Gatt handle this for you? Exactly right. Because here's the thing: when you have this feeling like you have this major flood in your house, and you call your homeowner's insurance company, and you feel like they're turning on you, like they're not going to approve a replacement living situation, and your adjuster is nowhere to be found, you got to take a breath, and you got to call Avner Gatt. Avner is one of Southern California's largest public adjusters. That means he works for you. The insurance adjuster works for the insurance company. The insurance adjuster's job is to give you as little money so that the insurance company keeps as much home. Avner's job is to get you the most money that he can get for you, because he understands what these insurance companies are doing, and he knows these policies inside and out. And I'm telling you that when the insurance companies find out that Avner Gatt's on the case, you're going to see how all of a sudden things start to move a whole lot faster. So if you've got a toilet overflow, a broken water line, let's say your supply line bursts, you've got a broken fire sprinkler, whatever the water damage is, you call Avner Gatt today. 818-917-5256. 818-917-5256, or visit him online at avnergatt.com. You can visit him on Instagram at AvnerGatt Inc. And when you call, he'll answer. You'll know it's him. Bring, hello. That's Avner Gatt. Your claim is our game. AvnerGatt.com.
The road to glory runs through Los Angeles at ESPN.
Hey, it's Travis. Join us Friday, May 30th from 9 a.m. to noon at Legends Attic in Claremont as we celebrate their one-year anniversary and kick off the Freddie Freeman World Series Game 1 Walk-Off Grand Slam Ball Tour. Plus, Oral Hershiser hosting special guests, Dodgers voice Joe Davis, Steve Sachs, Rick Monday, Jaime Harin, Peter O'Malley, and more. Giveaways in the amazing art of Dave Hobrick. Purchase your tickets for meet and greets at legendsattic.com. We'll see you Friday, May 30th at Legends Attic in Claremont.
Hey guys, double down with me in my first ever $10,000 blackjack tournament. It's going to happen on June 6th at the Bicycle Casino. You know it, the Park West Bicycle Casino. Bicycle Casino Drive in Bell Gardens. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a live broadcast from 3 to 6. But when you walk in, I want you to say, double down with Cappy. You go to the Players Reward Desk, and you get your free entry into the tournament, which is going to start at 7 o'clock that night. Remember, it's June 6th. Double down with Cappy is going to get you a free entry into the tournament, which you're going to need to get because I'm telling you, this thing's going to fill up real fast. Live radio, real cards, big prizes, very limited seats. So lock yours in now. RSVP for more information for all the details on the tournament at ESPNLA.com.
Wins. Nothing out of pocket. Free. Gratis. So if you're injured in an accident, the first name, the first thought, the first call should be Jacob. Jacob, Jacob, Jacob. The consultation is free. That's right. Free. I told you. Gratis. Don't wait. Call Jacob 24 hours a day at 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. Call him. 844-24-JACOB. Or visit him online at calljacob.com.
Call Jacob.
Hey guys, you feel it? Days are getting longer, sun is getting warmer. Looks like our SoCal summer is right around the corner. Here in California, we are all about choosing chill. From hitting the beach to the best hiking trails to going all out to support our teams. One thing really all ties it together, and that's enjoying it all with good friends and a cold Coors Light. Pick up Coors Light near you or get it delivered to your door today. Visit CAChooseChill.com to learn more. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
And it is Sedano and Kap here Thursday afternoon. Today is Learn About Composting Day. Learn about composting. Also, happy 27th birthday to Austin Reeves. AR. Probably not a Laker for much longer. I know, Trudell, you don't want to talk about it. Anyway, also, on this day, back in 1961, the number one hit, Ricky Nelson. Traveling Man. Sedano and Kap continues with Mike Trudell, your Thursday afternoon right now.
That's right. Mike Trudell is in for Sedano. It's Sedano and Kap here on 710, getting ready for the Eastern Conference Finals. Game 5 tonight, a game that you'll hear on the airwaves of 710. But when the game is on, we will remain on via YouTube. And I know, listen, I got a lot of heat from people yesterday. You're like, why do you guys say YouTube only? We're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, we're on Facebook, Twitter. I got it. Wherever we're on in all places.
Makes my heart start to yearn.
Sing it, Michael.
Well, Cappy.
Do you like this song better than Holla Back Girl?
Well, I do. So this song has particular meaning for me. So we had my rehearsal dinner, right, for my wedding back in 2013, and we did it on a boat on Lake Minnetonka. Mm-hmm. And so we're cruising around. Ireland was there, and my dad I was not expecting this. Grabs the microphone, and there's speakers, of course, like in the inside in the lower part of the boat, and this music comes on, but without the vocals, and he has replaced the vocals with essentially like a song about our relationship and and et cetera. So it was very sweet. He knocked it out of the park. My dad had a great singing voice, and so he sang like the entire song with that music in the background for me and my wife's, or now wife. So it was very sweet.
Very sweet.
Yes.
So are we, just to make sure we're all good, because you just brought up your dad, anybody that wasn't with us in the last couple of weeks, I put my right foot in my mouth one time when talking to Mike about his dad, who, RIP, is no longer with us. Then I put my other foot with the bad, disgusting big toe in my mouth when I talked about Mike's dog, who also is no longer with us. Previous to that, I don't have a third foot, but back to the disgusting foot, I put that one in my mouth when I talked about your son Riggs, who I called your daughter. So, I mean, and then to make matters probably worse on top of all of this, I sent a request to follow your wife on Instagram, and it took days of negotiations to finally get your lovely wife to finally accept my request. So, given
but you're friends now, right?
Yes, we're all connected now.
Okay. Have you liked or commented on any of her posts? Although
Have not seen her show up in my feed at all.
Yeah, she doesn't post much. She will put stuff in her story sometimes. But
I don't want to be overly creepy by going back and looking at all of her previous posts.
No,
and then
I appreciate that.
She gets the little dot on her heart, and she goes, "Oh, who liked all my stuff?"
No,
and then she sees that I've liked like their last 30 posts. And
Yeah,
she's
it could
like,
be a little
"Ew,
creepy.
weirdo."
Yeah. So your question is like basically, are we cool?
Are we cool? Before we start talking basketball
Yeah.
and we start talking about all kinds of other stuff today, everything I've done wrong to you, most of it inadvertent, most of it not, there's no malice whatsoever.
No,
I didn't
yeah.
call Riggs your daughter because I thought that he was a girl.
Nothing intentional. I mean, maybe maybe you weren't paying attention a couple
Right,
times when I was
right,
talking to her, but
right.
nothing malicious. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So no, I'll start. I'll start by just burying any theoretical hatchet that you think is out there. I do forgive you of all of these things. I do like you. We are cool. Now, here's the difference, Cappy, between maybe you and I and you and some of the co-hosts here. Like, I knew Ireland for a long time, or at least several years right before I came on the air with him. So, like, when you're doing a show with him, it's like I already know John. Sedano, I knew for at least a while before, like, we started doing when he had his show. Like, I didn't know him well when he was doing the morning show with LZ and Key back in the day, but we had since spent some time outside of that. We had spent some time as he made margaritas, brought him to the beach, like family time. So I got to know him. You and I have never really spent time outside of the show, and yet we've spent a lot of time now talking on the air. So what I don't know for sure is how close your off-camera persona, and I have an idea, by the way. I think it's probably very close, but I don't know for sure what percentage of Cappy this Cappy is, and therefore on these types of issues that you brought up of our short past here, I'm still giving you the benefit of the doubt, but it's not all the way there because I haven't had a meal with you, I haven't had a drink with you, where I get to kind of go a little deeper. And so that's where, in the long term, from a macro sense, how close we will be throughout the rest of our years, I don't know. But can I forgive these errors and mistakes and painful ones all that they be? For now, yes, I can.
Okay,
long term, I don't know.
And what's the micro part?
Well, no, we're good. Yeah.
Okay, because George likes to do what you just did. He likes to do this macro micro crap, and I'm just telling you that most of us are not really sure what the micro is or what the macro is. And so I'm the only guy that will go explain the difference between the micro and the macro. And then George got all bent out of shape at me yesterday because he's like, in the macro, and then he starts talking about basketball, and then he finishes his whole statement. I go, well, what's the micro part? And he literally gets pissed. He's like, did you not just hear everything I said? And I'm like, I did, but you didn't identify the difference between the macro and the micro.
Yeah.
And I'm actually willing to admit I don't really understand that phrase when people use it.
Look, I'm going to do it right now. So what I mean by macro is like where our long-term relationship, right? Are we going to be great friends, or are we going to be just kind of like guys that get along and play well off each other on the air? And, I don't know. That's in the macro. In the micro, in the short term, like, we're good, right? Today, we're going to have a good show today. I was excited to do the show with you. I had no hesitation when Lindsay asked if I could do it, other than if I could literally be here. It wasn't like, oh, well, it's going to be me and Cappy for 3 hours. So that's like today, micro, short term, right? Long-term stuff, be damned. Can I handle you right now? And the answer is very much yes.
I think you can. All right, so good. We're cool. We're good to move on.
That's right.
It's Sedano and Cap.
Glad
Mike
we
Trudell.
cleared that up.
Hey, me too, man, in a big way. So let's jump right into it. Let me ask you this. So when last night, you tell me, because I will say that at the end of the first half between Minnesota and Oklahoma City last night, Mike, when the score, and I maybe I'm not getting it 100% right because I was listening on the radio at the time, I think it was 62-30 at the end of the first half. Maybe it might have even been 65-30. Regardless, it was a 30-point game at halftime. And the only thing I was thinking was, well, this thing is long over, but maybe, just maybe, Oklahoma City takes their foot off the gas and Minnesota not comes back to win, just comes back to cover the 8.5 points. So you tell me.
Mm-hmm.
Did you even watch the second half last night? Because I will tell you that I was listening on the radio, turned to the Pearl Jam channel, and never quite made it back for the second half.
No, I'm definitely in the minority here, though, of in that I watch almost every second of NBA basketball that I can, and I was flipping back and forth in the fourth quarter between the hockey game, rooting against Florida because why does Florida need to have a good hockey team? Go Oilers, by the way, incidentally.
Just so you know, I'm a Florida Panther fan. Just want you to know that.
Okay, well, you're one of 5,000 in the
why?
world.
What's wrong with the Florida Panthers?
I just don't think that Florida. People don't really play hockey in Florida.
Do they play in Phoenix?
No, I don't want. Well, Phoenix first of all lost their franchise.
Okay, but
you
understand what I'm saying.
To Utah. No, I don't root for any. It's like I don't root for any of the teams in the South, even including Carolina, much as I would root
bad.
for. Yeah, Tampa bad. As much as I would root for Montreal or Toronto or Edmonton, where hockey is life, where it's going to mean everything to the fan base to win. So that's all. Nothing personal against the Florida
I just want you to know that the reason I root for the Florida Panthers is because when I was a kid and I lived in South Florida, all we had were the Miami Dolphins. That was it, one team. Then the Heat came in. Then the Panthers came in. The Marlins eventually came in.
Sure.
And in the early parts of my broadcasting career, I worked for a radio station in Miami called WQAM 560. And we had the Florida Panthers. And I was like the young guy on the staff. And they're like, well, tonight you're doing the pregame, the in-between periods, and
cool.
You're doing the postgame.
Yeah, so you've got an emotional tie to them.
And I can remember 1997 when the Florida Panthers were playing the Colorado Avalanche in the Stanley Cup Finals, and there was a guy on the Florida Panthers by the name of Scott Mellenby who earlier that year found a rat crawling around their locker room and slap-shotted the rat into a brick wall, smashed this thing into a million pieces, and every time the Panthers scored a goal, we all threw rats on the ice. And Patrick Waugh, who was the goaltender for the Avalanche, had to actually hide inside of the net while the ice was getting pounded by rats. So I've been a Florida Panthers fan for, 25, 30 years. But it only comes out this time of year, by the way.
Just before I get back to Thunder and Wolves for a second here, you're saying would bring in a dead rat?
No, not a dead rat.
Not fake one.
Yeah, fake one. Not like in Detroit, when somebody scores a hat trick and they throw an octopus.
Yeah.
No. This is a fake rubber rat.
Okay, rubber rats.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for qualifying that or for clarifying that for me.
Never touch a rat.
All right, but anyway, so Cappy, you're right about the first half, but it was really the first quarter. It was 26-9 after the first quarter. So at that point, game's over. You could tell from the body language and the demeanor of the Wolves that they didn't really believe that's what we're going to be looking for tonight in the Knicks. Do they believe? They've got some tougher customers, maybe that Jalen Brunson, Anunoby, Josh Hart, those guys you would think are going to have something left in them for Indiana. And maybe they believe that they could go into Indiana and win Game 6 more so than the Wolves believed that they could go back to Oklahoma City and win a Game 7 after the way that Oklahoma City played. So I'm allowing for that to be a possibility. But you could tell right away that this wasn't going to be a thing. Then at halftime, I want to say it was 65-32. So, yeah, I didn't know what the spread was, but it wasn't getting covered because Oklahoma City is also a team where they could have started playing their bench more minutes, and their bench is awesome still. So, that, there's not going to be a drop-off. Everything I thought for them was all just filtering towards we are playing through the final whistle. This is our coronation. It's time to go to the NBA Finals, and that was all that was said and done. So I know that you wanted to get into Anthony Edwards and the whole part of that because I do have a strong opinion on any type of critique that he would be getting from it, Cappy. But just as far as the game goes itself, it was pretty clear what was happening from the first couple possessions.
All right, well, I'm going to get to this Anthony Edwards sound coming right back because after the game, Anthony Edwards goes to the podium and his commentary was met with a lot of negative reaction. Want to play it for everybody, and then I want to hear the strong opinion that Trudell has. But I do want to remind everybody that you have a chance to be part of our first ever Cappy Blackjack Tournament. Sounds kind of weird saying my own name. It's happening Friday, June 6th at the Park West Bicycle Casino in Bell Gardens. But I want to recommend that you RSVP now at ESPNLA.com. If you click the picture of me holding the cash, you have an opportunity to be in our first ever Cappy Blackjack Tournament. Go to ESPNLA.com right now to RSVP. By the way, the purse, $10,000.
Wow.
First place, $5,000. Second place, $3,000.
Are you a high-level player, Cappy?
I don't know that I'm really what you would call a high-level player.
But you know your own.
I'd like to win third place is $2,000 in chips.
You hit on 16? Yeah, you know what you're doing.
Well, I do know what I'm doing, and I'm also a guy that will give you crap on a table if you screw up the table for everybody else.
Yeah,
okay?
I mean, if there are two aces out there and somebody doesn't split them, you're saying something.
If you don't know what you're doing and you don't ask the dealer what to do, then get up, get off it. But you know what? It's all my fault because people who don't know what they're doing are playing the cheap tables, and that's where I am. So Stick around. I want to hear what Anthony Edwards had to say. I want you guys to tell us your opinion. This is Sedano and Kap on 710 ESPN.
And yes, we now know the Oklahoma City Thunder are into the NBA Finals after last night. Will the Indiana Pacers clinch it out against the Knicks tonight at the Garden? Game 5, the Eastern Conference Finals, tip off at 5 p.m. here on 710 a.m. and the all-new ESPN LA app on the ESPN radio tile. Thanks to our friends at Michelob Ultra. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. And Chumba Casino. And Pro Baller, the official energy drink of the Los Angeles Lakers. Meanwhile, Sedano and Kap will continue on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles and on the Listen Live tile on the all-new ESPN LA app from 5 to 6 p.m. today. We got you covered on 710 ESPN.
Hey, it's Travis. Join us Friday, May 30th from 9 a.m. to noon at Legends Attic in Claremont as we celebrate their one-year anniversary and kick off the Freddie Freeman World Series Game 1 Walk-Off Grand Slam Ball Tour. Plus, Oral Hershiser hosting special guests, Dodgers voice Joe Davis, Steve Sachs, Rick Monday, Jaime Harin, Peter O'Malley, and more. Giveaways in the amazing art of Dave Hobrick. Purchase your tickets for meet and greets at legendsattic.com. We'll see you Friday, May 30th at Legends Attic in Claremont.
And Kiss and Fly Lot. The trains will make it simple and fast to get to your LAX destination in 10 minutes or less. And trains depart every 2 minutes beginning in early 2026. Learn more at lawa.org/ESPN.
Whether you're building a single roof or a successful roofing business, roofing contractors like you need the right tools for the job, and software is no exception. Service Titan is on a mission to be the most powerful software platform for the trades, with purpose-built technology proven to maximize revenue, streamline operations, and deliver 5-star customer experiences. We are taking roofing companies like yours to the next level and beyond. Service Titan, we are built for this. See what we can do for roofers at servicetitan.com.
Empower. Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
And it is Sedano and Kap your Thursday afternoon. Don't forget, 5 o'clock Eastern Conference Finals. Game number 5. We'll have it for you on 710 a.m. and on the ESPN radio tile on the all-new ESPN LA app. YouTube only, 5 p.m. Sedano and Kap at ESPN Los Angeles on YouTube and the Listen Live tile on the all-new ESPN LA app on this day in 1998. The number 1 hit, Next. Too Close.
Oh, yeah.
Sedano and Kap continues with Trudell your Thursday afternoon right now.
It's a good one, Cappy.
I know you're feeling it. I can hear you.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? I do enjoy, though, when I see the way that you move your body to almost any type of song. Yeah, there you go. I like when you get the arms up.
Yeah,
exactly. And then I like the
Right.
Yeah.
You got to feel that. You got to feel it.
Exactly. Yeah,
Then
I like how you do that.
Sometimes I might give you one of these. I might just drop this right on you. Watch this right here.
Oh, let me see.
Watch this. You ready? Watch this right here. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay. A little dab?
I dabbed, yeah.
Wow.
That's a very contemporary dance move.
Well, it seemed more like it was a short-lived fad to me. But I don't want to question your rhythm because you clearly have some.
Clearly.
I'll say that my best move that goes way back and it really kind of originated in college, but I would do like the full booty drop. Right, like with the legs spread, butt all the way down to the floor. You know,
can do that?
You mean like the hurdler stretch?
The what? No, I mean say like a
Show us.
like
Yeah,
a squat,
we're gonna
like a
need to see
really
it.
fast
Can you just
squat.
stand up for a
Can you just
second,
do
please,
it?
and back the chair up?
Just
Turn
do
it
it.
up,
All right,
Kasim.
hold on. Well, I don't know. I haven't done it in a long time. Hold on, let me see if I can do it.
All right, Mike Trudell is standing up. He's got another. Oh my! Oh wow! Wow!
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God!
Nice move, man.
You know what I'm saying? Now,
Social team, can we get that? Can we get that and put that out on social?
the problem, Cappy, is that
Lindsay, you like that move, huh?
my best friend from college.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah, the problem is my best friend from college got married, and just about a year after my wife and I got married. And I had, at the time, it was starting to become a trend to have the tighter pants, right?
Uh-oh.
And so I went for the booty drop, and the pants split right in the crack. And so I had to
Can't
spend.
do that in dress pants. Yeah.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. You could do them in dress pants like when I was in college and even a couple years after when they were just normally fitting pants. But once we had to basically get skinny jeans version, Cappy, and they're like, oh, no, my wife's like, no, they look good. They show off your legs, like they show your quads. Just get them. Your butt looks nice in those. I'm like, okay, fine. So I wasn't really comfortable with them. And then I proved my point when they split wide open. And
What'd you do? What'd you do after they split wide open at your friend's wedding?
Well, it doesn't matter now because they're not in style anymore, right?
Just drank more.
Yeah.
Just didn't worry about it. I mean, I had boxers on. It's fine.
Understood.
Yeah.
That was a good move, though, Mike. And
did you like it?
I did like it a lot.
Okay.
I did. I thought it was a really good move.
I was not expecting it,
Yeah, and listen, without any stretching of any kind, that was impressive.
Yeah, that's part. It did enter my mind that I could get injured doing it, but not really. I mean, it's just a squat.
I'm impressed that you were able to get your butt all the way down. My ex-wife used to use that exact same move, and when she would do that move, everybody knew, boy, she is loose. She is wasted. Yeah, because at that point she'd been drinking enough to do that move. It was only when she did that move that you knew, like, okay, she's wasted.
Your Instagram friend Annie Trudell just texted me, "OMG, you did not."
Yes, she did. Yeah,
I did, honey.
Yes, he did.
I did.
Sure did.
I did
He
do
did,
it,
Annie.
He did.
Yeah,
He
no,
did.
and you may or may not see it.
Right,
on
like
ESPN social.
Yeah,
I just
tell
wonder if
us what your friends in the group chat have to say about that one.
Yeah, really. What's
I
your
need
one
to know.
buddy, the one friend of yours that texts you during the show?
You know what?
and he goes,
I didn't alert him that I was on today. So let me
you should send
let
him
me
that
see.
video.
Yeah, we'll see.
Is
if
there
he's
any way to
listening.
show a replay of that? I mean, I don't know if there is or there isn't, but gosh, if we could show a replay of that.
I kind of like to see because I haven't actually ever seen
They're on
myself
it.
do it. So I might be a little more critical of it because you are you just flattering me or did you?
No,
really
I'm
enjoy
really
it?
impressed. I'm
Or
really
was it-
impressed.
But was it more you were impressed like in the way Lindsay was because she just didn't expect that I would do it?
I
'cause
didn't know you were going to go all out at all.
She's like, oh, you just usually you see me on doing a Laker game or something and you figure that I'm just kind of like, okay, you're just kind of a square,
Right, we just think you're all uptight.
But look, I'm literally reporting. That's what I'm doing there, right? So I'm not entertaining as much. In this case, a booty drop is not that big of a deal.
No.
You just wouldn't expect that. If Cappy did it, Lindsay probably would have just rolled her eyes. Wouldn't
Right,
have
she'd
been
be
that
like, yeah, I expect that.
I would expect that from you,
Okay.
Cap.
Yep.
Well,
but I would
do
want
it?
I would want to stretch. I would actually need to stretch.
All right. Well, so maybe
Yeah.
in the
Maybe I'll have to-
last hour of the
yeah,
show.
I'll work on the hammies, the
Okay.
quadzillas. I'll work on it.
All right.
Gluteals. So let me bring you back, Mike, to Anthony Edwards. Even though it's hard to focus after the booty drop.
Focus.
But I'm going to try. Thank you, Pepe. So let me play for you what Anthony Edwards said after the game last night. I'm almost reluctant to start with the team that lost and the player that is facing all this criticism.
Don't worry, I'll defend him.
But I figure I want to hear what Anthony Edwards said, which is getting a lot of criticism nationally today. Let's take a listen to. And by the way, John Kestisher, who was doing the game last night on ESPN Radio, I love that he referred to Anthony Edwards as Ant-Man. He wasn't calling him Edwards. It bothers me when announcers will call LeBron, they'll call him James. Like, everybody knows him as LeBron. A lot of times when you call him James, it actually confuses me. I don't even know who you're talking about. So I like that Kesty was, you hear that? Kesty was
your
calling
buddy.
him, was calling him Ant-Man.
I saw you force him to be friends with you.
Well, I really am a big fan of his.
I know.
I am a
Okay,
big
let me
fan.
play the clip real quick.
All right,
okay?
play it.
Okay.
It's exciting. I don't know why people would think it would hurt. I mean, it's exciting for me. I'm 23. I get to do it a whole bunch of times. I'm hurt more so for myself, for Mike. I came up short for Mike. Like I said, we tried last year. We couldn't get it. We tried again this year. We're going to try again next year. But hurting is a terrible word to use. I'm good. Yeah.
Are you hurt by another year of making it to the Western Conference Finals and not actually making it through to the finals. And here's a young guy who goes, hurt. Why would I be hurt? I'm 23 years old. I mean, Mike, I'll throw it to you first. What'd you think about this? Because again, the kid, I think he's been widely criticized for not saying something like, yeah, it's just killing me, man. Oh my God, it sucks. 2 years in a row. I can't believe it. Like, people criticize him just because his opinion was, I'm not hurt. I'm a young guy. I'm still trying to make it.
So this is not the first time that Anthony Edwards has been called into question this year, and for even some more trivial stuff than this. I get it. I get that a lot of players coming off of a result like that, the sort of cliched thing to say, the quote-unquote correct thing to say is, I'm devastated. I'm devastated for myself. There's nothing worse than this. Cappy, you alluded to this earlier, right? Like, I'd rather have lost than to not even gotten to this point.
No, I said that, not Cappy.
Well, Cappy, sorry. Cappy relayed his...
Wait, also, don't forget this one.
It's not a failure, Eric.
Yeah, the Giannis one. I mean, I get that. What I love about Anthony Edwards. So first of all, forget anything that he says. He plays hard. Okay, he competes. So it's not like it'd be one thing if a player went out there, Cappy, and was just super casual on the court and was like, oh, yeah, whatever, in the conference finals. Hey, take a shot, Shea. Like, no, man, he battled and he was getting triple teamed. Now that's the first part of it. So I don't care if he's mature enough at age 23 to have some perspective to say, actually, I'm mad because Mike Conley may not get enough chances. I'm going to be here. I'm going to play my best every year. I'm planning on living not just here, but obviously getting to the finals and winning. So I've never questioned that Anthony Edwards is a competitor. He wants to win everything that he does. I know some people that know him personally. He does care about winning. He will try to beat you in ping pong. He will try to throw a football farther than you. He will try to jump higher than you. That's just how he's wired. That's it. That's his natural state of things. The larger point for me, Cappy, and this goes back to, I know there was the last cycle about Edwards was, is a superstar playing well enough? Is he doing enough after game 4, right, in which he didn't shoot that much in the first half? And then I'm sure you talked about that in the radio, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. So all that. So you've been through all that.
Actually, I just listened to George talk about it. Keep going.
It was mostly George as a ball knower,
yeah.
And you're just trying to figure out the difference between macro and micro.
Right.
Okay. So you've already gone through that news cycle, and my response to that one is sort of similar. It's like, if you watch the game, and I know that you did, Oklahoma City, the entire game plan is to try and limit what Anthony Edwards is going to do. And when the Lakers tried to do that, they didn't have a secondary matchup for Julius Randle, and he was able to go off, which meant that they couldn't focus as much on Edwards, and then Edwards was able to go off, etc. Well, Oklahoma City can do both. They took Randle out and still threw 3 bodies at Anthony Edwards. So you just give them credit. They didn't lose this because Anthony Edwards wasn't aggressive enough. It's not because he doesn't care enough. That is garbage. Almost nobody at age 23 actually wins as the alpha. It almost never happens in the NBA. Even Kobe was the beta, at least in terms of who was the better player. He may have kind of in fourth quarters, Kobe stepped up in crazy ways, and obviously in the three-peat he was that young. But even Michael Jordan, okay, and this is where you start to get into looking at some of the numbers. Michael Jordan at age 23, he only played 3 playoff games. Now he averaged 36, 6, and 7. But he only played 3 games. The next year when he was 24, he played 10 games, played 43 minutes a game, and went for 36 and 7. Now, Ant's numbers aren't quite that gaudy, right? This year he was at 25, 8, and 7. But that was all through the playoffs. And Jordan, this was a first-round matchup for the Bulls. And then eventually the second round that next year. So he was playing against lighter competition in the Eastern Conference. So, Ant's fine. Don't worry about him. Literally every NBA team would love to have Anthony Edwards, and if you think otherwise, you're ridiculous. I hope I'm not saying you can't critique him at all. He could have been better, Cappy. I'm not trying to say I would defend every single. I just think that part of it I thought was clear, and I wanted to defend his honor in that way.
Well, hey, you have certainly defended his honor. Let me reset this after the top of the hour and after what you need to know, because I also have a strong opinion about the exact same thing. Stick around, everybody. We are headed to the top of the hour right now. This is KSPN, a Good Karma brand radio station, and we've got what you need to know coming right up. Stick around.
But first, the road to global glory runs through L.A. Join ESPN LA and Michelob Ultra for a FIFA Club World Cup watch party. this Saturday at Tom's Watch Bar at LA Live. Kickoff is at 7:30 p.m. Get there early, grab your spot, enjoy giveaways, and some ice-cold Michelob Ultras. Presented by ESPN LA and Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer. That's this Saturday at Tom's Urban at LA Live. Kickoff at 7:30. Come party with Michelob Ultra and 710 ESPN.
And yes, we now know the Oklahoma City Thunder are into the NBA Finals after last night. Will the Indiana Pacers clinch it out against the Knicks tonight at the Garden? Game 5, the Eastern Conference Finals, tip-off at 5 p.m. here on 710 a.m. and the all-new ESPN LA app on the ESPN radio tile. Thanks to our friends at Michelob Ultra. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. And Chumba Casino. And Pro Bowler, the official energy drink of the Los Angeles Lakers. Meanwhile, Sedano and Kap will continue on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles and on the Listen Live tile on the all-new ESPN LA app from 5 to 6 p.m. today. We got you covered on 710 ESPN.
June gloom? Pfft, my tan and these sunglasses say it's June glam. Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
Morongo pays you more. Our table games progressive jackpots are over $750,000.
Number 2.
Billy Gardell, live July 12th. Get tickets now.
And the number 1 reason.
Flamenco Fridays are back. Live DJs, drink specials, and lazy river pool fun at SoCal's best nighttime pool party.
Morongo, good times.
Hey everybody, it's Cap. Is it time to sell your home? Whether you're downsizing, moving, or inheriting a property, call Seller's Advantage. With decades of experience, they offer custom cash solutions and can close in days. No repairs, no agents, no hassle, just a great offer that gives you peace of mind. Call 888-390-AS-IS or visit sellersadvantage.com. Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
DRE number 01961658.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place. For changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ, J-O-E-Q, to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
710 ESPN, your home for the 17-time world champion Lakers.
KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
This is Sedano and Kap on 710.
I'm a cocky son of a like, there's no question about that.
Sedano and Kap continues right now.
Yeah, it's Sedano and Kap on a Thursday afternoon. Mike Trudell is in for Sedano. We're getting ready for Knicks and Pacers. Game 5 in New York, a game you'll hear on 710. While the game is on the radio, hang with us on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Twitch, on the all-new ESPN LA app. Plenty of ways to continue to hang with us, even while the game is going on. And by the way, we'll be watching the game with you guys, too.
Wait, so we don't get to leave early?
No, there was a lot of controversy about that earlier this week.
Hey, is this a bit, Trudell?
Because, you know, Chris almost died.
Because when I asked the same thing, I was asked, is this a bit?
I kind of was, I figured that it would be, right? If I said that, I could guess, right, what the answer is. So I was more just saying it to see if it kind of led Cappy in a certain direction. But I do have my own feelings on it, but we can save those.
Trust me, we've all got feelings on it,
yeah.
And we'll just leave it at that.
I would love to hear your feelings about it, but before we do that,
we'll save that for the YouTube only hour.
Yeah, let's get to what you need to know. It's brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times, less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Lindsay Baseball, what do we need to know?
Well, Cappy, what you need to know is that. Hold on a minute. I lost my thing. I lost my link.
I was waiting for there's that nice little pregnant pause.
You know, like,
No,
what you need to know is that I'm working on
I
getting
lost
to it.
my
I lost
link,
it.
so I'm just going to read you one that I had handy.
Okay. What is it?
Whether you smoke it or eat it, cannabis is bad for your heart, according to new research. I think we can all assume that we thought that it was bad for your heart if you smoke it. But, you know, to like someone like Christopher Morales, who is a former heart patient from a cardiac event, he cannot be consuming cannabis in any way, shape, or form, including the edibles, because it's not good for your heart. It reduces your vascular function, and it's linked to an increased risk of heart attacks and high blood pressure. So there you go, Cappy.
I don't want to know that.
Well, that's what you need to know.
I know, but that's like not something I want to know.
Well, now you know.
Did you know that, Michael?
I have
You know
seen stuff like this before, and so that does track. You know, I am not a smoker of anything. I have no moral issues with it. It just kind of doesn't appeal to me. Maybe one day, but yeah, I
You never have been?
No.
See,
never
I
have.
used to be like first year of like college, maybe like senior year of high school even, like stoner, total stoner. But nowadays it's just like and I can't have edibles because they make me so violently ill for some reason. Even like the smallest little dose, it was like 2 milligrams of THC, right? And it's like the smallest dose you can get in an edible. And I was like on the floor like ugh, like puking my guts out.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I can't do those.
The thing that I eat too much of that I shouldn't is sugar. You know, or like the thing that I put in my body knowingly that it's not good for me. But I try to counteract it, Cappy, by working out, stuff like that. But yeah, as far as the smoke, I haven't really gotten into it.
Sugar is probably way worse for your heart than cannabis, my guess.
Well,
my guess. I don't know for sure.
We'll ask Dr.
throwing
Clapper.
Oh, yes,
you a
that's
guess.
good. We can ask Dr. Clapper. Good idea.
Yeah.
All right, well, there you go. That's what you need to know. Brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times, less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Hey, just real quick, just to finish up the conversation we were having about Anthony Edwards.
I want to hear your take. That was kind of me. That was like me doing a Sedano impression where I talk a lot and you don't listen.
You
so.
did.
Well, you're winning time of possession today. Good for you.
Thanks.
Could we reset it for everybody who's just getting with us? Anthony Edwards facing a lot of criticism today around the country from all the talking heads because of his post-game comments last night, where when he was asked by one of the reporters in the post-game press conference, like, are you hurt by getting knocked out of the Western Conference Finals two years in a row? Here's what Anthony Edwards said.
It's exciting. I don't know why people would think it would hurt. I mean, it's exciting for me. I'm 23. I get to do it a whole bunch of times. I'm hurt more so for myself, for Mike. I came up short for Mike. Like I said, we tried last year. We couldn't get it. We tried again this year. We're going to try again next year. But hurting is a terrible word to use. I'm good, yeah.
So he's 23 years old. Like as somebody who is, I think of myself as middle-aged, even though a lot of people now tell me that when you're my age, you're actually not middle-aged, because unless I plan to live to 110, I guess I'm now past middle-age. But
you look middle-aged, though.
Thanks a hell of a lot, man.
Yeah, you don't look past middle-age.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling like right in the middle right now.
Yeah, for sure.
So the thing is that I think old schoolers, and I kind of generally consider myself that, we have an expectation and a belief that you should be in agonizing pain. Oh, my God, you got through the Lakers, you got through Golden State, then you got ham-slammed and annihilated and motorboated by Oklahoma City, and last night you guys didn't even show up. So we assume that this guy should be absolutely devastated. Devastated? These guys were down by 35 points at half. They were out there last night for a run like they were the Jewish Community
They
Center.
did have a lot of time to process the loss.
Right.
Yeah.
These guys weren't devastated. They knew
it wasn't
they
a
were
buzzer
losing.
beater in which, like they thought they were going to win and then they were going to go home for Game 6. Yeah, that's a good point.
No, they knew they were losing.
Yeah.
They did not go to Oklahoma City to win that game, to attempt to win the series. They went there because they actually screwed up and won Game 3 of the series, which forced them to get on a plane after Game 4 and have to go take their beat down in Game 5. They knew they were losing the series. That's the first part of it. The second part of it is this.
It's a good ball knower take, Cappy.
Thank you. He's a child. He's not a grown man. Please don't try and sell me on the fact that he's 23 years old and he's a grown man. He's a child. And as a child, who's been in the Western Conference Finals in back-to-back years. Mike, what do you suppose he thinks the future is?
Well, Cappy, I'm glad that you raised this point also, though, because when you say that he's a child, just if you know Anthony Edwards' story, right? His mom died, his grandma died. He essentially got raised by his older sister, dad not in the picture. Like he was so good at sports right away, and you know, Cappy, like that kind of changes the way that the community embraces you and treats you, and so you're almost allowed to be a little bit more childlike in a positive way, right? Where like, hey, we're going to help you with these certain decisions, and you just focus on the sports. And so he is a child in an even much different way than like Kobe at age 23. Kobe was not a child. Like Kobe had lived in Italy. Kobe had come back here. Kobe had a father who played in the NBA. Kobe had 2 older sisters, right? Like this is an individual that had been critiqued and studied and criticized and like all of that, and had had life experiences. Ant has not had that same level of life experience. So I just wanted to underscore that point, and you got to try to consider that when you're trying to get into his psyche.
Right, when you're 23 years old and you've been to the Western Conference Finals for the last 2 years, you know what that kid is thinking in his head?
I'm going to be back next year.
Right. I'm entitled because for the last 2 years, I've made it to the Western Conference Finals. I knocked out LeBron and had my hands all over him, and he's old and he's done.
Beat Jokic the year before.
Right, and not only did I beat Jokic last year, but this year, Steph Curry, he's so old, he can't even stay healthy through the playoffs. So guess what? I'm going to be back in the Western Conference Finals probably next year, and I'm going to make it to a finals, and I'm going to win a championship because I'm this close this early. Now, of course, that's a very childish, immature attitude because ask Dan Marino how it goes when you make it to the Super Bowl in your second year and you never make it back to the Super Bowl ever again. So what I'm saying is for anybody that looked at Anthony Edwards last night and thought, you know what, he's not hurting enough for me. He's not disappointed enough. He's got a little too much of a positive attitude on the way out the door. Dude, as a 23-year-old kid that we're talking about right there. And by the way, back to what Lindsay was talking about earlier, about 2 years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, maybe it was last year, when Giannis said, when they said to him, hey, are you upset about it being a failure of a season because you didn't make it to the finals?
It's not a failure, Eric.
Right. These young kids today, they think way different than us older guys today. Like I looked at last year and went, yeah, it's a failure. You didn't make it. You didn't win a championship. It's a failure. He goes, no, it's not a failure. They look at things different, these younger dudes.
Cappy, the other thing I would say is that Edwards probably spoke for, I don't know, somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes. And that Giannis clip that we just heard and like the whatever Giannis said, he went on and on. Like I've sat in so many of these post-game press conferences. That's a big part of my job. And it's so easy to take out the one clip and then do a good radio segment on it, which you just did. My guess is that if Anthony Edwards were here and we really got into it, you could get more out of it too. And he just might, maybe it was the person that asked the question that's been kind of hinting at stuff like this all year, and it made him answer it a certain way, which is why I focused more on how he played basketball rather than what he said after the basketball game. And this guy competes. And he competes at a high level on both ends of the court. It clearly matters to him, and that's my point. If it's a player that sometimes doesn't give their full energy, then I think a quote like that you have to start to think about a little bit more. Okay, wait, is this guy desperate to win? Is winning everything? And we go straight to Kobe Bryant for that, right? With the Mamba mentality, I get it. That is the ideal, I think, for a sports fan to want your player to not just show that, but say it. But you have to take all of the information in, and in this case, Anthony Edwards at age 23 is way ahead of even, I think, where the franchise thought he might be when they took him number one. It wasn't one of those Anthony Davis or like this year Cooper Flag drafts where it was like 100% of everybody saying this is the guy. He's going to be All-NBA first team in a couple of years. He's going to lead the team. Like it was like, he's a little immature. He just played the 1 year at Georgia. Nothing really seems to bother him. He's athletic, but the mechanics are good, but he didn't shoot a great. Like there were some critiques there. This wasn't a LeBron or an AD thing. So he now though he is one of those guys though. I think he's already a top 10 player. So I hope I'm not sounding too in the camp here of Anthony Edwards, but that's how I truly feel, Captain.
Yeah, I just wasn't as offended as everybody else. I just really wasn't. I mean, he's a kid. and he's been to the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row, and in his mind, he's probably thinking it's going to be easy to get back.
Do you think George would be offended, or would just to disagree with you?
No, George would agree with you just because anything NBA just gets defended. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, come on.
No, it's true.
There are plenty of things about the league that I love that I would happily critique.
No, George has critiques.
This is not one of them.
No, George has critiques also for the league, not for the individual player.
Oh, okay. So he doesn't like to do the individual player critique as much. I look. I'll be honest. That is a fair critique of me and George to an extent, because there are, like, when you are in that environment, and maybe you felt like this more like when you're doing more NFL stuff, like it. I do admire the guys that just come out and have the totally honest takes on the players that they think aren't performing as well and stuff like that. But I just think that you can do that from a basketball perspective without just ripping a guy to make it a headline on Sedano and Kap.
I don't think that Anthony Edwards deserves to be ripped for a headline.
He doesn't.
I was not overly offended like so many other people seem to have been. We'll come right back to it because I really want to hear from Mike Trudell what he thinks about lean Luka.
Okay, can I float one other thing out there?
No, we got a break. You need to know the clock, Trudell.
I know, but just for the break. But just like there, I saw something about somebody being naked, and I thought that it had to be you, Cappy. It turned out that it wasn't.
It was
and
not
that shocked
me.
me. So
no.
Yeah, so I want to talk about that.
I'll say this. ESPN 710 has a host that has gone nationally viral.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that
wanting
story.
To be naked, and that's not Cappy somehow.
We will get to that story coming up. But first, our friends at Legends Attic are having a birthday. Come celebrate live. It's tomorrow, 9 to noon, with Travis and DeMarco. DeMarco coming up in a second. Meet iconic legends like Steve Sachs Jr., Jaime Jarin, Peter O'Malley, plus Legends Addicts giveaways, live art, and a whole bunch of other really cool stuff. Freddie Freeman's unforgettable Game 1 Gram Slam Ball is going to be in the house. The ball will be there. Just hanging out, I guess. It's all happening at Legends Attic, 619 West Foothill Boulevard in Claremont. Tickets at legendsattic.com. We'll see you tomorrow with Travis and DeMarco here on 710. We're coming right back. Don't go anywhere. This is Sedano Kap. Hey, guys. Double down with me in my first ever $10,000 blackjack tournament. It's going to happen on June 6th at the Bicycle Casino. You know it, the Park West Bicycle Casino. 888 Bicycle Casino Drive in Bell Gardens. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a live broadcast from 3 to 6. But when you walk in, I want you to say, double down with Cappy. You go to the Players Reward Desk, and you get your free entry into the tournament, which is going to start at 7 o'clock that night. Remember, it's June 6th. Double down with Cappy is going to get you a free entry into the tournament, which you're going to need to get because I'm telling you, this thing's going to fill up real fast. Live radio, real cards, big prizes, very limited seats, so lock yours in now. RSVP for more information for all the details on the tournament at ESPNLA.com.
They've got all the action for ESPN LA listeners. Brand new players who sign up for their Players Reward get $30 in match play. Just say, Cappy sent me to get $30 in match play. Park West Bicycle Casino.
Please gamble responsibly. Problemgambling.ca.gov. 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGR-001291. GAR-001292. GAR-001298. BSIS license number 1358. Do you know a high school senior who's a true all-star on the field, in the classroom, and in the community? ESPN LA, along with Rotolo Chevrolet and Capozio Buick GMC, is proud to present the All-Star Student Program. We're honoring 5 incredible seniors with a $500 scholarship and an exclusive VIP experience at ESPN LA's All-Star Friday Night. Nominate your standout student today at ESPNLA.com. ESPN LA All-Star Student, brought to you by Rotolo Chevrolet, the #1 Chevy dealer in the West region once again. Come see what all the fun is about.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-74... Hey, it's Travis. Join us Friday, May 30th from 9 a.m. to noon at Legends Attic in Claremont as we celebrate their 1-year anniversary and kick off the Freddie Freeman World Series Game 1 Walk-Off Grand Slam Ball Tour. Plus, Oral Hershiser hosting special guests, Dodgers voice Joe Davis, Steve Sachs, Rick Monday, Jaime Jarin, Peter O'Malley, and more. Giveaways in the amazing art of Dave Hobrecht. Purchase your tickets for meet and greets at legendsattic.com. We'll see you Friday, May 30th at Legends Attic in Claremont.
Enjoy $5 happy hour weekdays after 3 p.m. with our 5-piece pork veggie dumplings and a value-sized premium beverage drink like our creamy and delicious Thai tea. Waba Grill, keeping it real every day for you.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
And it is Sedano and Kap here Thursday afternoon. Today is National Alligator Day and Happy National Biscuit Day. How about that? And on this day in 1965, the #1 hit, The Beach Boys. Not Good Vibrations, but Help Me Rhonda. Sedano and Kap with Trudell continues your Thursday afternoon right now.
Help me Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda.
Oh, Cappy, go higher. Go higher. You got to harmonize with the Beach Boys. Go higher.
Help me, Rhonda. Yeah.
Help me, Rhonda.
Good.
Help Rhonda.
Doobie doobie doop 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 doop.
You know what you should have played?
I know what you're going to say. Right. We're having good vibrations around here today.
Bergman liked the booty drop. He just came in to tell me.
Hey, did we ever get that cut up in the back? Because that booty drop was legendary.
I got a thumbs up, so I don't know if they've posted it yet, but they got it.
I'd like to replay it here on the show for people that are watching on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and Twitch.
Well, I am dressed for it. I came straight from the gym today, and I was debating. I was like, well, ideally I would have liked to have taken a shower. Right, but then I was like, I kind of went for the front shower, a little deodorant, spray of cologne when I left the house because I was like, I don't want to take the extra 20 minutes like at the gym. You got change and then find a locker, so I don't usually do that. Usually I just go home after. And so, Cappy, I thought you probably were going to be south, so I could just be sort of alone in here in case I stink.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You look like you smell fine.
Okay.
So I don't know if you smell fine, but you look like you smell fine.
Well, but the point was that I was able to booty drop because I'm wearing basketball shorts.
I have determined I won't be able to booty drop today. I was working on some things during the commercial break.
You stretch the hips and the hammies out.
Yeah,
a little
and
bit?
I've determined booty drop is not in my future today.
Oh come on, Trudell
No, it's
did
not.
it.
No, I think I have a legitimate injury.
You once twerked upside down on a tree. Let's be serious.
Let me put it this way. I think my injury is more legit than LeBron's knee. Put it that way.
I mean, what?
What do you mean?
Bring LeBron into this
because he's a hater.
I saw the second that DiVincenzo hit him, I was like, that looked like exactly what it turned out to be. That is not up into question. You, I think, just don't want to show us your butt.
Well, here's the thing. I think my limp right now is a little more legit than LeBron's limp when he was leaving that
What
night.
happened to you? What happened to you? What's the problem?
I think I have like a pulled groin.
From what?
F45.
You really should look into doing another workout because I feel like you're constantly getting injured from F45.
Hey, listen, F45 is a
Dial
great
it back a
workout.
little.
It's high intensity. I was working it out really hard this morning, and I think I have like a groin pull and a hip flexor problem. Put it this way. You saw LeBron dancing after his kid's graduation the other day on that really, really badly hurt knee. I couldn't do those dance moves right now. He can. I can't.
You're a wuss.
I guess so. Mike, what do you think about the LeBron-Luka photos that have been making their way around the internet?
I was impressed. I think, like probably most, when they saw the Luka photos, and I saw them on Instagram when Luka posted them, and I was like, you know what? I think it's risky and silly to bet against Luka in this offseason. I think that Luka, from watching him now, it's only been a couple of months, right? Now, I certainly don't know him well yet. I've interviewed him, 30 times maybe at this point. He just strikes me as the type of personality that loves nothing more than to think, oh, you don't think I'm that guy, huh? Oh, you don't think I can play? And so if you carry that into an offseason and all of the critique that came out of Dallas, which, Cappy, by the way, you were one of the strongest personalities on 710 about how you thought that all went down, about the things that Dallas said, right, about Luka on the way out.
I thought it was ridiculous, and I thought when I read Dan Woike the other day in the LA Times when he said there were people in Luka's camp who felt as though he was in store for a big offseason because of that, and this is the most important word, because of the humiliation he felt in the discussions about his work ethic and conditioning after he was traded from Dallas. If I were Luka, I would have been humiliated that all these guys are talking about is how fat I am, how much beer I drink, how much hookah I smoke, how little I work out, how I'm not a great teammate. Mm-hmm. All these things that they said about me, it is humiliating. True or not true, it is humiliating to have somebody say that about me. I'm going into this offseason. I'm getting myself into the best shape of my life, and I'm coming back, and I'm looking for vengeance.
Yeah, so you just summarized kind of what I was expecting this to be a big vengeance offseason for Luka, and not just for whatever came out of Dallas, but just because I think that Luka really does have a lot of pride in the type of player that he is, and I do think he's one of those guys that, like we were speaking about the Anthony Edwards tape from earlier, and kind of like his reaction in which I defended how he reacted to it, but Luka strikes me more as somebody that is devastated by losing, and will say so, and like wants to do anything that he can to raise a trophy. And if however he puts it together in his head about what he's going to do in the offseason, I don't know. Again, I don't know Luka well enough to decipher that, but I would have bet on seeing a photo of him looking like that, even if it's just a photo. And I would bet on, when I watch Slovenia play in Eurobasket in a month or two, that he's going to look great and play great. And I would bet on him coming into training camp in great shape. So, these are the things that I'm expecting based on what I know, and we'll, of course, see how it turns out.
Why are you sorry? Why is LeBron screaming for Luka?
No, I didn't mean to play it there. I meant to hit
Hell yeah.
that one instead. They're the same color.
Yeah, how about Luka going to play for Team Slovenia and the worry that the Lakers, there was concern that the Lakers might restrict him and say, nuh-uh, we're not taking the risk on injury. But apparently Luka's dad got something to say about it, and then ultimately the Lakers said, okay, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll let Luka go play in Slovenia. We're sending a coach to babysit to make sure that he's doing the things we want him to do, not the things you guys are making him do.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Luka has been playing with the Slovenian national team for many, many years, right? And I think that and I don't know this, but I think the training staff that works with Slovenia, I'm guessing are guys that Luka has known and trusted, right? So I don't know that there's let me just speak for myself. I wouldn't have a concern with him playing, and in fact, I think that all players that want to be good at basketball need to play basketball, and not just restricted to the NBA season. It is a great way to not just stay in shape, but to work on things to get better, and by playing basketball. Of course, there's a limit to that, and if you're LeBron James and you're going into year 23, you're going to be playing less basketball than somebody that's 26. So that's obvious. But I don't think that you just expect that somebody's going to take a full offseason off without playing at all, Cappy, and then come into the next season even sharper. I do think it's a good thing to play some.
Not to mention, you got a lot of pride from where you are from, and having played on this national team for all these years. You don't want your NBA team, who you just got to all of a sudden tell you, no, you can't do that anymore. But I do like what the Lakers are doing, which is send a freaking babysitter. Make sure that he's cool, okay? Anyway, lots more to get to, including Radio Tinder, which is right around the corner, and Dr. Clapper coming up later this hour. And then we'll hand things off to the Eastern Conference Finals Game 5, and we will remain on YouTube. And for those of you that catch up on Twitter, on Facebook, on Twitch, don't get so offended. We'll be on all of those platforms as well. Hey, just a quick shout-out, though, before we get to Radio Tinder, to my friend Damon Lyons. Damon is the CEO of Seller's Advantage. When I drive on the freeways of L.A., I see so many billboards for Seller's Advantage, and I see that photo of Damon up on those billboards. Listen, Damon wants me to pass this along to you, and I'm going to go ahead and do it. With Seller's Advantage, we can make your life so easy when it comes to selling your house. You can skip the agents. You can forget about paying commissions. And here's the other thing. You don't have to put a lot of money into your house to hope to get that money back out of your house, because at Seller's Advantage, we will buy your house for cash as is. By the time you got done paying for all those repairs and the agent fees and maybe concerns about the deal falling through, you could have already sold your house for a very fair, competitive price for straight cash. So here's what you should do if you're thinking about selling your house right now. Get your free, no-obligation cash offer by calling Damon and his team at Seller's Advantage, 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-AS-IS, or 888-390-2747. You can obviously visit their website, sellersadvantage.com. We make selling your home so easy. Seller's Advantage, sellersadvantage.com. Radio Tinder is next.
And yes, we now know the Oklahoma City Thunder are into the NBA Finals after last night. Will the Indiana Pacers clinch it out against the Knicks tonight at the Garden? Game 5, the Eastern Conference Finals, tip off at 5 p.m. here on 710 a.m. and the all-new ESPN LA app on the ESPN radio tile. Thanks to our friends at Michelob Ultra. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. And Chumba Casino and Pro Baller, the official energy drink of the Los Angeles Lakers. Meanwhile, Sedano and Kap will continue on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles and on the Listen Live tile on the all-new ESPN LA app from 5 to 6 p.m. today. We got you covered on 710 ESPN.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Hey guys, what's up? It's George Sedano. Waiting is never fun. Usually nothing good happens when you wait. My friend Jacob in the law offices of Jacob and Ronnie want to make sure you don't wait after an accident. Immediately after an accident.
Join us Friday, May 30th from 9 a.m. to noon at Legends Attic in Claremont as we celebrate their one-year anniversary and kick off the Freddie Freeman World Series Game 1 Walk-Off Grand Slam Ball Tour. Plus, Oral Hershiser hosting special guests, Dodgers voice Joe Davis, Steve Sachs, Rick Monday, Jaime Harin, Peter O'Malley, and more. Giveaways in the amazing art of Dave Hobrick. Purchase your tickets for meet and greets at legendsattic.com. We'll see you Friday, May 30th at Legends Attic in Claremont.
To the best hiking trails, to going all out to support our teams, one thing really all ties it together, and that's enjoying it all with good friends and a cold Coors Light. Pick up Coors Light near you or get it delivered to your door today. Visit CAChooseChill.com to learn more. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Pacific Palms Resort, LA's Hilltop Hideaway and #1 work and play resort, provides opportunities for all travelers and locals. Enjoy restful accommodation, dine in the Red Restaurant with an expansive outside patio, or pamper yourself and relax at the spa. Hit the links at one of their 2 championship courses, the Babe and the Ike. Pacific Palms Resort is the perfect choice for a Los Angeles venue for your business meetings, weddings, and big events. Enjoy a beautiful staycation or family holiday at their Hilltop property. Book your stay at LA's #1 work and play resort today at PacificPalmsResort.com.
The word is out. Ocean Subaru of Fullerton's Memorial Day savings have been extended, but not for long. Take advantage of 0% financing for 72 months on a new 2025 Subaru Solterra or a new 2025 Subaru Crosstrek with 3.9% financing for 48 months. Plus, you'll get a complimentary gift when you purchase a new vehicle. For complete details, visit OceanSubaruOC.com.
Approved credit through Subaru Motors Finance. Not all buyers or vehicles will qualify. Plus tax, tag, title, and dock fee. 0 security deposit. Choice of gift. Dealer discretion. Must not exceed $500. See dealer for complete details. Expires 5/31/2025.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
And it is Sedano and Kap, your Thursday afternoon radio Tinder time. We like to play a TV theme. How about a movie theme? On this day, back in 2015, Jurassic World, starring Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, premiered in theaters. That was the one where it was like an amusement park with actual people all the time, right? Like kind of like Disneyland with dinosaurs. Anyway, you can follow her at Lindsay Baseball on Twitter or Instagram. Don't forget about our sponsor, the Crazy Hernandez Brothers. If you're in the market for new flooring, shop at Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, where every day is a deal. No gimmicks. Call 866-62-FLOOR, F-L-O-O-R, or go to HernandezWholesaleFlooring.net. No sale beats wholesale. Take it away, Vanessa Lindsay.
By the way, you know they're coming out with a new, or they just came out with a new Jurassic Park, right? Is it this weekend or last weekend?
I don't know. I haven't been to a movie theater in a really long time, but I think the next time I go, I'm going to probably go see this Mission Impossible movie that everybody's talking about.
Yeah, just saw that in the theater.
Jurassic
How was it?
World Rebirth is the new one.
It's what you'd expect. It's good fun. It's great action. Cruise always delivers. Yeah, so it's worth your money.
Okay.
I recommend.
I will not be seeing that one.
I mean, it's almost 3 hours long. So it's
no,
definitely,
no.
2 hours.
Yep, I'm out.
2 hours and 50 minutes.
Get
plus,
out of
If I was
here.
even considering it, I'm out.
I mean, look,
3 hour
Way
movie.
too long.
It's just like these are for people that say they won't do that. But like, Cappy, you're talking about playing golf. Golf, what would it take, like 6 hours?
Yeah, but you're moving.
But
you're
the thing
talking.
is, Mike, I swear to you, I used to have this negative connotation about golf because I was like, hey, 30 minutes of the course, 4 hours on the course,
And now your
a
kids
beer
like to play.
afterwards, and home. And now my kids like to play. So now it's like the greatest use of time
I was
ever.
listening when you said this last week.
Thank you. Thanks
unlike
a hell of a
you
lot.
You don't always listen when I talk to you.
Hey, thanks a lot, man.
But
appreciate you.
Well, you're welcome. But
See,
anyway,
now
I'm
it's
just
good
saying.
use of time.
I'm just saying it's worth it, and that's also part of why you get the popcorn that refills. So if you're like 2 hours into the movie, you run out there quick, like take 30 seconds, boom, hey, fill up the tub, boom, throw a little butter on there.
If you're in a movie for so long that you need to refill your popcorn, it's too long.
Well, part of why I have to refill it is because I had the twins with me. And so, they can each eat like a. So what they hand out if you ask for the side tray, right? Cappy, you know what I'm talking about? The side trays.
I'm with you. Yeah, side tray.
So you get the big tub, and you ask for two side trays, or in my case, if Riggs is there too, then I'll ask for three, and then I'll. So then I'll distribute the popcorn into the trays and then go out, and sometimes I'll even get the refill before the movie starts.
That's a smarter idea.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't want to have to be running out during the movie.
But sometimes if they're really in a voracious, if they're really hungry, then I may have to refill the tub a third time if they're really going at it.
Wow, 3 hour Tom Cruise movie. I don't know. That might be a little more than I could bargain for. All right, Lindsay Baseball. You ready for a little radio Tinder?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's do it.
So, it turns out one of the dirtiest places that most people don't think of is your steering wheel, according to new research. And a lot of people, when they clean their cars, they do obviously you do the vacuuming, you clean the outside, you throw all your garbage away. But a lot of people don't really clean the steering wheel. And I guess it's even most people's steering wheels have more germs than a toilet seat because toilet seats are cleaned a lot more frequently. And they said a lot of people will go months without wiping down the surface. And you think about you would never go weeks without washing your hands, but your steering wheel. So I want to ask you guys, do you ever think about cleaning your steering wheel?
So first of all, you should call Michael Thompson about this because this is right up his alley and this would outrage him. I hadn't thought about it, Cappy, and even after hearing everything that Lindsay just said, which I'm sure is true, I'm still not really concerned or thinking about it. Right. I mean, there are wipes right here. And I could just take one down to my car as I leave the studio in an hour and 20 minutes, and I probably won't do it. So not bothered.
On the other hand, Lindsay, I'm swiping right here. I never, ever, ever think about cleaning my steering wheel, especially you go pump gas, and you touch the body of your car. It's probably dirty, even though I just had a $7.99 car wash at Costco in San Juan Capistrano in my brand new Subaru Outback. But like, you touch the gas pump, you touch the car, you touch the gas cap, you get back in your car, you start picking your nose, or you pick up your phone, you do things.
Do you pick your nose a lot, Cabby?
Mostly at red lights, Mike.
Okay.
Mostly at red lights, I pick my nose.
Do you use like your pinky finger? Or
index finger is my preferred.
Okay.
But at certain times when I really got to get all up in it.
How do you get the index finger all the way up? So that's why I use my pinky a little more, because it's easier to slide up. To slide up higher.
No, starts with the index. Anyway, here's the thing, is that I gotta go clean my steering wheel as soon as we get off the air.
Do you think there's what's the percentage chance that there are boogers on there?
No, well, there's probably not boogers, but I sneeze a lot when I'm in my car.
Well, wouldn't that be like mini boogers?
Well, I don't know about mini, but it's more like
you pick your nose.
Talking about that.
No, but the liquid. You know what I mean?
Lizzie, you brought it up.
Yeah, but you're talking about like picking your nose and stuff. It's gross.
Well, that's what's I'm trying to say. That's what's on the wheel.
People do that. They pick their nose, Lindsay.
For what
it's
it's
true.
worth, whenever I pump gas, like I know that the gas pump handles are like really, really dirty, and I will not pump gas unless I know I have like wipes in my car, because I have like antibacterial wipes in there, and I will check to make sure that I have them, because that really grosses me out, because who knows how many hands have touched those.
I have one way to handle this. I have an electric car, and my wife's car is due to be, the lease is up in January, and considering getting a second all-electric, in which case I will never have to go to a gas station again.
Well, aren't the electric pumps just the same thing as a gas pump?
No, I mean, because I do it at my house.
Oh.
You have one in the garage, so
okay.
you just plug it in at night whenever you need a little refill. Yeah.
All right, there you go. Okay, so what's next?
All right, so according to new data, millennials and Gen Z are now using Google more
Like
than
Cappy's
ever.
kids?
Yes, for basically regular adulting. So as they move into adulthood, instead of asking for mom and dad for help on like basic skills that they think like, mom and dad would know from like home ec or whatever, they're Googling everything. So everything from like how to clean a bathroom vent, how to change your oil, how to set up auto pay, like stuff like that. Like millennials and Gen Z are doing that more than anything else. And I want to say I am 1,000% like guilty of that, but I don't think it's such a bad thing. Like I changed my oil myself, like they just said. I figured out why my old car wasn't starting based on like some Google and YouTube videos.
Okay, yeah.
So I find it very helpful. And even my mom now will say, if I ask her a question about something, she goes, Google it. Just Google it. So do you guys use Google often for like regular basic life skills?
Cappy, you're a perfect person to ask this, partly because aren't your kids right in that kind of range?
Yeah, they pretty much Google everything. When I say to them, I go, how'd you know how to do that? They'll say Google, or they'll say YouTube, or they'll say I asked ChatGPT. Like I asked ChatGPT something the other day about like trying to set up my new iPhone, which didn't work regardless. And I find myself asking for help. I'm using Gemini now, which is the AI version of Google. And so, yeah, I mean, I actually don't like it, though, when I ask somebody a question of something that I think they might know the answer to, or I'm kind of asking what they think about something, and then they hit me with a Google it. I find that to be rude.
Well, okay, I do. I've been making a transition to using ChatGPT more than Google, because I do think that, and there are kind of targeted ways that you can ask questions into GPT now, which I'm learning, which can kind of help you get an even better answer. So I am transitioning there myself. But Cappy, you have 4 kids. What is the most common thing if they call you that that they want? Is it
money?
Emotional?
Yeah, money.
Okay.
Money.
So money. So it's not necessarily is it emotional support? Is it I need you? Can you help me fix this, Dad?
No.
No.
It's Dad. Can you pay my credit card bill? Dad, can you pay for my Uber Eats? Dad, can you pay for my Instacart? Dad, can I use your credit card for this? Mike, you have
At
no
least
idea
they're
what's
consistent.
coming. Yeah, that's all they ask. That's it.
Really?
Money. That's it.
Yeah,
last night.
They can't Google.
What's
money.
the last time that one of them called and asked you for something that wasn't money?
Or car.
No, everything pretty much has to do with something related to money. My daughter Jillian called me yesterday. She's like, "Hey, Dad, I really had a great time when you and I were working out together when I was visiting. So I've decided I'm going into like a full workout mode. I really want to get an F45 membership. Will you pay for it?" My daughter yesterday, my other daughter Jaden was like, "Hey, Dad, my credit card bill is due, and my new job I only started 2 weeks ago and I haven't gotten paid yet. Can you help me?" My little one, Julia, who's up at Cal Poly Slow, is like, "Dad, I really want to go on this backpacking trip this summer, and it's going to cost this much money." And I'm like, no. The answer is no. You're not going on the backpacking trip.
You didn't. You
Lindsay,
gave in, though. You caved,
Lindsay,
didn't you?
Lindsay, you'd be so proud of me. My daughter said, I want to go on this backpacking trip.
Wait,
I said, no.
But
The
time
answer is
out.
no.
Time out, Cappy. I just wanted to stick up for Julia here because she's the baby of the family.
Yeah.
And if this were a couple years ago and Jillian or Jaden asked you that, you would have said, yeah, of
Wait,
course.
but I
So
told her,
then-
but
then
here's what I said to her.
She gets the shaft because
no,
she's
no.
the last one and you're
No
tired
shaft.
of paying for everyone else.
I'm not giving any shaft. Okay, let me tell you something right now. She went to the Dominican
What about
Republic.
for Rachel?
That's a different shaft.
Okay.
I listen. She went to the Dominican Republic 2 years ago. She went to Costa Rica last year. I didn't go to Costa Rica. I didn't go to the Dominican Republic. I'm like, no
you pay for
backpacking.
it?
I paid for all of it.
Oh.
No backpacking
That's
trip.
Very,
You come home.
That's very generous of you.
I think you should do the backpacking trip and say this is the last one.
It's a 1 month backpacking trip
Yeah,
with
let her
no
live.
cell phones, no communication,
Let her
and it
live.
costs a fortune.
Can I-
no,
You're just
Can I
gonna
follow
track
up,
her
though?
anyway. How much
No,
is it,
you
Cap?
can't track her.
How
You
much
cannot
is it?
track her.
How much is it?
the 1 month trip, $5,000, not happening.
Wow. Cappy, can I follow up? Does she work? Like, is she
So that's
still in
just
school?
it. She's in school. She's finishing her freshman year at Cal Poly SLO.
Okay.
And I said, girl, come home this summer, work your butt off, make a bunch of money, and then we'll talk about it next summer.
Nah,
Is she mad?
Yeah, she's pretty pissed.
No, Cappy, look, you have to, like, this to me is a very important lesson that she needs to learn, and you're helping her learn, right? Like, you can't just not learn the what most people have to go through, which is make some of the money yourself so that you can then decide if you want to be the one to make that kind of a financial purchase. If you're just going to call and ask dad, but you haven't done the work to do,
This is
you
not
got to
fair
get a job.
because he didn't make the other girls do that, and so they see.
The other kids didn't have a job in the summer?
Oh, no, wait,
college?
Lindsay, this one, the little one who wants to go on the backpacking trip, she's gotten more and done more than any of the other
Good,
ones.
she should because she's the youngest.
But
She's
do
a
the other
baby.
ones have jobs in the summer in college?
Yes.
Okay.
I will say
Then
one
she
more
should
thing.
too.
One other
Yep,
thing,
and she is
that I feel like her coming home and staying with you and all of the expenses that you're going to have to endure are all things that are going to equal or exceed $5,000.
No chance.
Trudell, you don't
No
understand.
chance.
Think about it. Every time she goes somewhere, she's asking for money to go out to eat.
No,
She's
because
asking
first
for
of all,
money
she's
for
working.
groceries.
Right,
She's
gonna
working.
Have,
She'll have her own money.
Right.
Okay.
The girl, listen, the girl is very, very independent. But I told her, I go, listen, I'm not paying for a 1 month backpacking trip where I can't get a hold of you. You can't get a hold of me. You said I could track her. I can't track her. There's no cell phones. There's no cell service. I told her, I'm like, listen, no. And believe me,
we got to break because Dr. Clapper's calling.
I never say no. Anyway. All right, stick around.
You're doing the right thing, Cappy.
Thank you. Stick around because Dr. Clapper is coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we get there, hey, a big reminder that we have our $10,000 blackjack tournament. It's Friday next week, June 6th at the Park West Bicycle Casino, which is located at 888 Bicycle Casino Drive in Bell Gardens. We're going to do a live broadcast from 3 to 6, so we want you to come out for that. When you walk through the doors and you go to the Players Reward Desk, you say, double down with Cappy for your free entry into the tournament, which will start at 7 o'clock sharp. So there's going to be live radio, real cards, big prizes, but I will tell you guys right now, the seats are limited, okay? There's no guarantee. That's why I'm going to encourage you right now to RSVP immediately by going to ESPNLA.com. That's ESPNLA.com. Now, here's the thing. $10,000 purse. The first place winner is going to get $5,000 in free play chips. Second place is going to get $3,000 in free play chips. And third place gets $2,000 in free play chips. So for more information, go to the Park West Bicycle Casino website. It's thebike.com, thebike.com. Get ready for one night of blackjack. It's going to be awesome during ESPN's live broadcast from Park West Casino. And say, Cappy sent me and get that extra $30 in match play. We'll see you next Friday at the bike. Here comes Clappa.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems. Listen
Hey
carefully.
guys, double down with me in my first ever $10,000 blackjack tournament. It's going to happen on June 6th at the Bicycle Casino. You know it, the Park West Bicycle Casino, 888 Bicycle Casino Drive in Bell Gardens. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a live broadcast from 3 to 6. But when you walk in, I want you to say, double down with Cappy. You go to the Players Reward Desk, and you get your free entry into the tournament, which is going to start at 7 o'clock that night. Remember, it's June 6th. Double down with Cappy is going to get you a free entry into the tournament, which you're going to need to get because I'm telling you, this thing's going to fill up real fast. Live radio, real cards, big prizes, very limited seats. So lock yours in now. RSVP for more information for all the details on the tournament at ESPNLA.com.
U.S. Tax Shield, 800-687-5192.
Hey guys, it's Cap. Here's the scenario. Your home is flooded and the damage is severe. Now it feels like your insurance company is turning on you. They won't approve a replacement living arrangement and the adjuster leaves you in the lurch. Take a breath and call Avner Gatt, one of Southern California's largest public adjuster firms. Avner Gatt knows how to fight back when your insurance company makes you feel like a criminal, leaving you with no hope of getting into your home and getting it all back together. With decades of experience and a passion for helping people, Avner and his family take the call themselves. So whether you have a toilet overflow, a broken water line, a burst supply line, a broken fire sprinkler, whatever
hey, it's Travis, join us Friday, May 30th from 9 a.m. to noon at Legends Attic in Claremont as we celebrate their one-year anniversary and kick off the Freddie Freeman World Series Game 1 Walk-Off Grand Slam Ball Tour. Plus, Oral Hershiser hosting special guests, Dodgers voice Joe Davis, Steve Sachs, Rick Monday, Jaime Harin, Peter O'Malley, and more. Giveaways in the amazing art of Dave Hobrick. Purchase your tickets for meet and greets at legendsattic.com. We'll see you Friday, May 30th at Legends Attic in Claremont.
Afternoon right now.
Yeah, Sedano and Kap on a Thursday afternoon. We are about 9 minutes or so away from the Knicks and the Pacers. That game will air on 7:10 a.m. on terrestrial radio. Mike Trudell, myself, Kasim, who's in today for DeAndre, Lindsay Baseball, Anthony, and the entire crew in the back. We're all going to move over to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. So hang with us until 6 o'clock, especially if you're driving home tonight. Dr. Clapper standing by and ready for his regular Thursday afternoon visit here on Sedano and Kap. Dr. Clapper, how are ya?
I'm good. We're going to do some not Clapper vision, some Cappy vision, just like Trudell suggested.
Oh, really?
That's right. You remember when we floated this out there, Cappy?
I do remember that.
Yeah, well, have you been working on it?
Not really.
All right, well, I guess it's back to Clapper vision then. That was short-lived. Cappy vision didn't end up being very promising, Dr. Clapper.
It was a good idea, Mike. I love it.
Yeah. Doc, first and foremost, how you living, man? How you doing? You good?
I'm good. I'm surfing. I'm sculpting, and my next surgery is not until January. That's how far out I'm booked.
Why? Oh, wait. What do you mean your next surgery's not until January? You're not going to be operating on anybody between now and then? 6 months?
People come to see me. They wait 6 months, and now the next time I can do their hip is not until January. That's how packed I am. It's crazy.
Oy vey. Well, Doc, jump in here today. One injury that I'd like to ask you about is Caitlin Clark. And the only reason I'm really asking is because I like to play her on Prize Picks. And so now she's out with this quad strain. What's the status of a player when we're talking about a quad strain?
I love this muscle because you all can feel the front of your thigh right now. And we all know that quad, which means four, means there's four different muscles that come together and coalesce at your kneecap and allow you to extend your knee. But it also allows you to flex your hip because it's in front of your hip joint. But when you go to stand up, you got to extend your hip, but you also need to straighten your knee. So you fire the lower half to straighten your knee, but you actually have to shut off the top half. It's kind of like the opposite of the hamstring. But these muscles have wiring in them that make this injury something that they better rest her for a couple of weeks. And here's a Clapper vision for you. You know when have you ever hauled a boat trailer?
Oh,
Kathy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Of course. Land of 10,000 Lakes is where I'm from, Dr. Clapper.
So then you're an expert, Mike Trudell,
That's
because
right.
Jewish people are unable, and I speak for myself and Scott Kaplan, we're unable to back up the trailer because everything's opposite, right? It's just a nightmare. But The boat trailer, the last Jewish guy with a boat who was successful was named Noah. That's how far back we go.
He had a
But
trailer,
anyway.
huh? He reversed it and docked it and put it right in, huh?
That's exactly right. But the boat trailer is wider than the truck, right? And then it all comes to anchor itself to that ball on the bumper of the truck, right? Well, that's your kneecap. So think about it. 4 different muscles as wide as the boat trailer now all come together to attach, to work as a unit on your kneecap. Try coordinating 4 different muscles so when there's a sprain, a strain, which, by the way, represents a microscopic tear in the muscle, you better not rush back. Now, it's true she's so young, but this is the first time in her college and pro career she has missed any time. They better take care of her for 2 weeks. The problem is ticket prices are going to plummet because everybody's depending on her in the WNBA to be there, but they better rest her because it will lead to a hamstring injury on the other side or an injury elsewhere in her body if they don't.
Just best guess then on kind of the timetable if they take their time. And I know this isn't, specific.
Best guess is I think she's going to miss a couple of weeks, and then she's going to have to ease back in slowly because you know better than anybody, Mike Trudell, when you have a lower extremity injury, you lose aerobic conditioning capabilities. Even with a pool or anti-gravity treadmill, you lose that NBA or WNBA conditioning. It's not like an upper extremity, a shoulder or an elbow injury. So a couple of weeks, and she won't really be in tip-top form for probably 3 weeks, best-case scenario.
Got it. Right. So I don't know if you caught the show earlier today, Doc, but Cappy was complaining about an injury that he suffered while working out this morning and used it as an excuse not to do a booty drop, which I successfully pulled off. So, Cappy, you got about 1 minute. Did you want to try and see if Dr. Clapper can help you with your groin injury?
Next time I see you, I'd really like to have you examine my groin, if you don't mind. I'd also like you to take a look at my hip flexor. But, Doc, we will shelve that until next time because we got to hustle because we are ending today and handing off to the Eastern Conference Finals. Doc, before you go, 30 seconds. Who you picking in tonight's game, Knicks or Pacers?
Knicks. They're playing at home. They're going to extend the series. And like the great Ben Lyons, Knicks in 7.
All right. There you go. Doctor, we'll talk to you soon. Appreciate you, man.
Okay, God bless you guys. Thanks.
God bless you. All right, Mike Trudell, are you ready to make the transition from traditional terrestrial radio on 710 to YouTube? Are you ready?
Do I have a choice?
You do not.
Okay.
Here we go.
Then I'm ready.
Here comes the Eastern Conference Finals. We're going to YouTube.
Hey, Southern California, I'm Ty Pennington, the
Hey,
homie
guys.
guy. Team
Double down with me in my first ever $10,000 blackjack tournament. It's going to happen on June 6th at the Bicycle Casino. You know it, the Park West Bicycle Casino, 888 Bicycle Casino Drive in Bell Gardens. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a live broadcast from 3 to 6. But when you walk in, I want you to say, double down with Cappy. You go to the Players Reward Desk, and you get your free entry into the tournament, which is going to start at 7 o'clock that night. Remember, it's June 6th. Double Down with Cappy is going to get you a free entry into the tournament, which you're going to need to get because I'm telling you, this thing's going to fill up real fast. Live radio, real cards, big prizes, very limited seats, so lock yours in now. RSVP for more information for all the details on the tournament at ESPNLA.com.
Hey, it's Travis. Join us Friday, May 30th from 9 a.m. to noon at Legends Attic in Claremont as we celebrate their 1-year anniversary and kick off the Freddie Freeman World Series Game 1 Walk-Off Grand Slam Ball Tour. Plus, Oral Hershiser hosting special guests, Dodgers voice Joe Davis, Steve Sachs, Rick Monday, Jaime Harin, Peter O'Malley, and more. Giveaways in the amazing art of Dave Hobrick. Purchase your tickets for meet and greets at legendsattic.com. We'll see you Friday, May 30th at Legends Attic in Claremont.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand have helped thousands of people like you recover millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
710 ESPN.
KSPN, Los Angeles.
A good karma brands radio station.
It is time for the NBA playoffs on 710 ESPN and on the all-new ESPN LA app, made possible by our friends at Michelob Ultra. Michelob Ultra, 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Michelob Ultra. And by Chumba Casino. And by Pro Bowler, the official energy drink of the Los Angeles Lakers. The NBA playoffs are on 710 ESPN right now.
The NBA playoffs are on 710, and Sedano and Kap continues on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch. And I mentioned that, Mike Trudell, because yesterday I got several messages from listeners who seemed to be very butthurt over the idea that we were just on YouTube. They're like, why are you saying YouTube only? I'm watching you on Twitter right now. So I just want everybody to know, on Twitter, on Twitch, on Facebook, any platform we're using, in addition to YouTube and the all-new ESPN LA app, we are on live. And we're on live while the Eastern Conference Finals are going over to 710. What do you think about that?
So what are the ground rules here? Like, can I say things differently?
Can I do like a little quick housekeeping thing?
Yeah, feel free.
Yeah, please.
Trudell, can you talk to me and talk back really quick?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, Mike, this is another thing. So since this is all kind of new stuff, we do some experimentation while we're on. We do our show business on the show. You feel me?
We're good now.
Okay, Mike's good?
All good now, yeah.
Mike is good. Okay, great. So, Mike.
I need to make sure, because before we had some little, we have little gremlins and things that we need to switch, and we're all good now. Thank you.
Okay.
Our engineers fixed everything. We're good to go.
All right. Mike, how are you feeling about not being on the radio but being exclusively digital at this moment?
Well, before I tell you how I feel, what do you want to summarize, the discussion between you, Sedano, Morales, Lindsay, how all of this has evolved, so that I'm not stepping on any landmines here?
No. We don't need to get into this. We're going to have a good old normal hour of content, YouTube and streaming only, and we're going to not talk about this anymore, because I think we've all had enough of it, Cap.
She's shutting you down, Trudell.
Well, I that's why I kind of kicked it back to you. However, I will give you the same level of energy and attention and care and attention to detail here on YouTube as I would have were the show to just remain over the air. And frankly, when I listen, I usually listen on the app, right? And so if you're listening on the app, you can still listen to this, right?
Right. If you're, I listen on the app also.
Yeah.
Like, I get into my car, my brand new Outback Subaru, my Subaru Outback from Ocean Subaru in Fullerton. I listen on the app all the time. I get in my car, my Bluetooth connects.
Yep.
I click the ESPN LA app, and I listen on app. It sounds better than AM radio. I mean, I hate to cheat on AM radio. That's my original wife, but this is my mistress, the app. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
did you save any heaters for this platform? Like, did
I
you
do
save any
feel
of your
like I
best
did.
takes?
I do feel like I have, and I'll tell you why. Just as we're getting ready to start this game, did you see what happened on today is Thursday, on Tuesday night in Indiana? Did you see what happened when the in-house announcer handed the microphone to Pat McAfee?
I actually missed this part.
Okay, so
let me play it for you.
Well, wait, before you do, though, I just want to tell you.
Don't do the thing where you explain exactly what it is before we play what it is.
I'm not going to. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say this. I watched a little bit of McAfee's show Wednesday, and he explained that this was not planned. Nobody from the Pacers called him and said, hey, we know you're going to be at the game. Can we hand you the mic? Can you do your thing? He said he was sitting there at the game, and the in-house announcer person, kind of like Ray on the mic at the Laker games, literally walked up to him and went, bro, here, I'm giving you the mic. You do your thing. So it was not like some planned, choreographed thing. And here's what McAfee did. I'm going to explain why I'm playing this for you, Mike. Here's what McAfee did Tuesday night. And here we are now. It's Thursday night, and they're getting ready to play in New York. Go ahead and play it, Linz.
Stand by.
Okay.
Indianapolis, Indiana. We got some big wigs from the big city in the building. Spike Lee is here. Ben Stiller is here.
on his Taco Tuesday sound,
Well, I mean, when I heard McAfee tell the story that this was not planned and he had no idea that this was happening and he didn't really know what to do, and then he thought to himself, well, I mean, I work for the WWE. I know how to go like full heel or get a crowd riled up. I could see Spike Lee. I could see Ben Stiller. I could see Timothée Chalamet. These are all big stars that are all part of the Knicks traveling party. You know what? I'm calling them out by name, and I'm going to get this place hyped. And that's what he did. What'd you think about that, Mike?
I thought it played in the arena, at least from the sounds of it. And McAfee's done some stuff with wrestling before, right?
He's like a
He's an
WWE
announcer.
weekly announcer, commentator.
Yeah, he does the color for SmackDown.
So,
and sometimes he takes off his shirt and he jumps into the ring.
Yeah, so, I don't watch wrestling. I think you do, right, Lindsay?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
Kasim does too.
You're not going to say something bad about wrestling.
No, I was just going to say that that doesn't surprise me because he's somebody that can clearly pull that off. That's a muscle that I think works well, right, from that wrestling kind of promotion background that he clearly has. So yeah, if somebody was going to do that well, and you said that it was going to be him with everything else that he does, I would be like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And in terms of like the calling out the stars, the small town to the big city thing, of course that's going to play in that crowd. Like so, yeah, it was fine.
Okay, then here's the follow up to it all. So Ben Stiller was a guest. I guess there's a talk show of some kind, podcast on a TV channel in New York called SNY. And there's a podcast host. I actually don't know who the person is. I don't know his name. But he has Stiller on the show. And Stiller responds to what happened.
You texted me. It's the Putback with Ian Begley.
SNY. Yes, I don't know Ian Begley, but I definitely was able to kind of dig this thing up. So the show is called The Putback. Ian Begley is the host, and he's got Stiller on. And Stiller is willing to make appearances as long as you're willing to talk to him about the Knicks. Here's what Ben Stiller said about being called out by Pat McAfee.
I was not familiar with his game. I did not know that was coming. I did know that Timothy, had been on his show. And I was like, oh, that's your boy. That's your guy. And then so when that happened, I was a little bit like, whoa, that's okay. But then the WWE aspect of it, I get it. He's like, it's just not the way it happens in New York. You know what I mean? He should come in the Guard for Game 5. And, they'll put him up on the screen and they'll show him punting the ball and everybody will give him a nice cheer. So, that's how we do it in New York. But I get it. It was fun. I felt like he was just trying to get the crowd riled up. It was, a little bit out of the blue, but it's also like a little bit of like, are we really doing the narrative of like Hicks versus Knicks? Like the big wigs from New York. It just seems a little cartoonish. Yes. But then again, it goes with the WWE thing.
Yeah, that is what we're doing. That's exactly what we're doing. We're playing
first Knicks, huh?
We're playing the Knicks are New York. The Knicks are big city. The Knicks have all these celebrity fans, etc. Mm-hmm. And Indiana is in little teeny tiny Indianapolis in the Hoosier state, and that's basketball's birthplace, if you will. And so yes, that is precisely the narrative that Pat McAfee, and by the way, I think the national media is playing. It's the big city Knicks against the little guys from Indianapolis. Yes, that's precisely what they're doing, Ben Stiller.
Yeah, I mean he's on it. He knows how that's going to work.
Hicks versus Knicks, huh?
Yeah, I mean, Cappy, how do you do this thing though? Like with the game that is playing now. Right? Because you as a ball knower, are you going to be pointing out key plays?
Ball knowers.
Or are you going to be, talking about other topics and then once in a while referencing the game that people might be listening to over the air?
I'm going to be doing what you just said. I'm going to be talking about other topics, but referencing the game.
Basically
I'm seeing
how George Sedano does most shows when like an interesting game is on.
Right. George will be watching the game, texting, and also hosting the show all at the same time.
Oh my God, can you believe he made that?
Right. Like I'll be in the middle of saying something. And another thing, George, it's very interesting the way that Terry Bradshaw had that piece of commentary about Aaron Rodgers. And right in the middle of everything I'm saying, George will have an instant reaction. Oh my God, what a shot!
You're right, Cappy.
Thank you. Thank you, Georgie.
Well,
so
yeah, I mean, it's I am watching. Okay, now I I don't have it set up on the TVs in here, but I do have it up on my laptop. So I'm no longer watching you.
Wow,
Cappy.
this
You
is
want
crazy.
you want us to set you up on a TV, the one right in front of
I
you?
can't believe that you, a host, a talent, is actually going to go on your own little laptop and pull up the game instead of saying, "Can we get this game on the TV? Come on, can somebody change the TV for me here?"
Can somebody please get the game on for Mike Trudell? He's guest hosting
And then
today.
we got to call Funch to do it because no one else knows how to do it.
Funch, would you get in there, please? And
Funch is not here. Kasim said he's going to do it.
Kasim, would you
Well,
please do me a
and here's
favor?
the thing. I didn't want to bother Kasim because
You're
first
such
of
a
all,
sweetheart.
Kasim seems like he's just out of college. Has he ever even
Literally
actually
just graduated,
physically
like, a
touched
week
a
ago.
television before, Cappy? Because he's probably had a cell phone since he was like 4, right? I'm sure he could work all kinds of technology that you can't. But can he handle an old school television? That's the question.
I have a
probably
lot
have
of
to Google
faith
it.
in young Kasim.
He would have to
Okay?
Google it. Like
this kid's
all
been
the-
around the radio
all the
station a
kids do.
lot. He's a good kid.
Yeah.
All right. This guy used to have this really dope ass Jalen Brunson kind of hair. He cut it all off. He looks super smart. He's good looking.
Well, Kasim was
He's
asking me
brilliant.
what channel TNT is on, and I can't remember.
I'll get it. I could get it.
But
yeah,
Kasim,
okay.
you don't even have to worry about it because I do have it up. I have it up on my
Haagen-Dazs,
laptop
then we
right
got
now.
what's the other commercial? Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Can somebody please get the
You got
game
it.
on the
You got
TV
it.
for Mike Trudell, please?
You got it.
See, you're such a sweetheart.
Oh, he nailed
You're
it.
such
Okay.
a sweetheart of a guy. You don't even ask everybody
Shut
like
up.
that.
Yeah.
Me and Sedano, we just start barking at everybody.
Yeah, well, I
here's
mean, that's because I'm just filling in. If I were ever back here full time, it's just
You're part
barking
of the
orders
family,
again.
Trudell.
you sure are, Trudell.
You're
Yeah.
part of the Sedano and Cap.
Now
That's
here
fam.
I just want to say one last thing about this whole McAfee, big city, small town thing. Are you a John Mellencamp fan, Mike Trudell?
I'm familiar with his work, but I wouldn't say if I'm, if I've got control, right, in the car of what we're listening to, this wouldn't be one of the first 100 artists that I would think of.
I freaking love John Mellencamp. Probably not going to be a surprise to most people listening.
Where is he in like your top 10?
I don't know if I'd call him top 10.
Okay,
But
well, freaking love implies like pretty high.
I would say he's up there for me.
Top
20?
10. 15.
He could be a top 15, top 20. Ain't that America?
Okay, well, before you go off on a crazy John Mellencamp tangent,
Yeah.
bring it back to the Pat McAfee thing.
Yeah.
Well, so, okay,
What
here
are
it
you trying
goes.
to say?
So today, John Mellencamp, who is from the state of Indiana, John Mellencamp put out a message on social media about Pat McAfee. And here's what he said. The Knicks-Pacers games have been very entertaining for anyone who likes basketball or sports. I attended Game 4 in Indianapolis. Hoosier hospitality, in quotes. I was embarrassed when somebody, under whose direction I don't know, called out some of the people who had made the trip from New York to support their team, and in turn, support our team. The audience booed these people. I'd say that was not Hoosier hospitality. One could only say
Relax,
it's a
Cougar.
Wait,
it's
finish, 'cause
there's
I have
not
thoughts.
Cougar's not done.
My goodness.
Calm
down.
One could only say it's a poor piece of sportsmanship. I was not proud to be a Hoosier, and I've lived here my entire life. On behalf of most Hoosiers, I would like to apologize for our poor behavior. I'm sure the Pacers had nothing to do with this smackdown. John Mellencamp.
That's real?
Dude, John Mellencamp put that out on his Instagram, and my favorite part of the entire thing is he doesn't have one clue who Pat McAfee is.
Oh, my God, I know.
Pat McAfee is plastered on ESPN every day. He's got one of the biggest social media followings in all of sports media.
Yeah.
The Pacers guy, their in-house announcer, walked up to him, handed him the microphone, and said, "Yo, man, get this place hyped." You know why? Because Pat McAfee is the face of Indianapolis, Indiana. Not just because he was the punter of the Colts, but because he hosts his show from that town. He
Yeah,
talks
sure.
about it all the time. For John Mellencamp to be a basketball fan, a sports fan, have no clue who McAfee is, and then apologize for that embarrassment. I love Mellencamp.
Oh, no, your team Mellencamp?
I love Mellencamp.
Oh, no,
But
Cappy.
in this case, Cougs, You gotta chill, bro.
You gotta relax.
Okay, there we
Cougar.
go.
You gotta relax, buddy.
Not only does he need to relax, does he realize that he just called out Pat McAfee? Like, I'm guessing he's going to kill him on his show tomorrow, and he's, like, got a target on his back now. Do you agree?
Well, they'll use, I mean, for sure, they'll use it as a bit forever.
100%.
I mean, I would think that McAfee seems like the kind of guy that I don't know that he would be offended as much as he would think it's kind of funny and ridiculous.
Funny and ridiculous. Let me tell you something right now.
And be like, who do you think you are, John Mellencamp?
Oh, no. Let me tell you what's going to happen here. This is the greatest thing that could have ever happened to John Mellencamp.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
you're
true.
Right.
Here's
You're
why.
right.
Because the average listener of Pat McAfee has no freaking clue on planet Earth who John Mellencamp is.
Like Kasim.
Kasim, you ever hear this song before?
Not heard it, no.
Pink Houses, bro.
All right, break out another Mellencamp song. I can't even think of
Little
one.
ditty
But
about Jack and
break- yeah.
Diane.
Oh, that's
yeah.
That's
maybe
good.
if you play that well, I want Cappy to ignore his groin injury and do a booty drop because you played the right Cougar song.
This is not a Mellencamp booty drop. Is not what comes to mind.
Do you think anyone has ever booty dropped to John Cougar Mellencamp?
I'm sure somebody
I'd say Mellencamp has. You know?
You think so?
Oh,
I
absolutely.
bet Cappy's ex-wife has.
What I'm curious about Cappy,
she sure did.
Cappy, let me ask you this: Do you think that somebody in Mellencamp's life, I don't know, an agent, a cousin, whatever, texted him a clip of this and was like, "What do you think of this?" Or do you think how do you think it came to his desk? And then at what point does he decide, you know what, I need to go on social media because this is how strongly I feel about this? Or do you think it was like a publicist, his publicist, that's trying to get his name into the mix? Right, so that he can, get some more downloads on Spotify, whatever. Nobody's talking about the Cougar, whatever, something like that. Take me through how it happened that he would send out a statement that, at least to you and me, right? We don't necessarily agree on everything. We both agree it's kind of tone deaf and a little lame, and it was clearly a joke. Like the fans relax, but. What do you think is the evolution of this take from John Cougar Mellencamp?
I think the evolution of the take is this: John Mellencamp is 73 years old. He is
really?
He is a lifelong Indiana resident. He is a guy that for a generation was the face of the state of Indiana.
So you think this is genuine?
Oh yeah, this is tight blue jeans, penny loafer sneakers, white T-shirt tucked in, pack of smokes in the sleeve. John Mellencamp has been, he's been the guy in Indiana, and he literally, in my opinion, had no freaking clue who Pat McAfee was. And as a celebrity, he thought that it was classless that some nobody would get on the mic and call out all these A-list celebrities. So he decides to put that out. And now somebody somewhere is going, dude.
Do you think he wrote it himself?
I think so because,
kinda
first of all,
think so.
he's trending still on Twitter, and all these people on Twitter are killing him. People are killing him, saying what a jerk he is. And
Yeah,
they're
of
like,
course.
They're sharing their stories like, oh, yeah, well, you don't know anything about Hoosier hospitality because this happened.
I mean, the other part of it is, so no matter what, right, no matter what, if he agreed with the take or didn't, when you claim to speak for a people, nobody, it just doesn't come off well. There's another way to write that, There's another way to phrase that so that you're not kind of coming off as, hey, look, as somebody, I think, what do you say? I'm speaking for most people, for most Hoosiers or something?
Yeah, and all these people are literally saying,
Yeah.
you don't speak for us, you're not one of us. Also, you are a jerk.
Well, the ones that he speaks for probably aren't on social media.
That's a good point.
So that's the problem. So there are probably some old people in Indiana that kind of agree with this take and like it. But Cappy, it would be like if you just decided you were going to go in the air. In fact, you could do it in the next minute or two, and just speak for all people from San Diego. You know what I mean? Nobody, but why? It's like you are a. What list would you say that you're on as a celebrity?
Say I'm on the D- list.
Okay, so you're saying you're on the D list. I think it's C. Okay, I think you're not.
You're giving me a C list.
Yeah, I'm bumping you up to.
You're giving me a C list.
Yeah,
I like that.
especially for
Okay.
San Diego. Owning the airways for many
Definitely
years.
a C-lister in San Diego, for
And
sure.
yeah, and so if you tomorrow you had somebody else was trying to, let's just try to think of something like, what if somebody grabbed the mic at the Padres game, right, and had and said something disrespectful, and you said, hey, Padres fans, people from San Diego out there, this is Scott Kaplan, And I think I speak for all of us when I say blank. No matter what that is, you're annoying at least 50% of people.
Oh, no, I would say I'm annoying
No matter
probably
what it is.
47% of the people.
Yeah.
And I might get about 53% of
I
positivity.
feel like most of the things, especially or at least on social media, are like, dude, shut up.
Well, listen, here's the thing. He's 73 years old, Mellencamp. He doesn't know who McAfee
okay,
is.
boomer.
Well, that's just it. My son came home. My son's 25 years old. My son came home and he goes, "Did you hear about this Mellencamp thing?" I go,
Was he outraged?
Yeah, because he's a McAfee fan. So
jeez.
he's completely outraged.
He's a perfect person.
Hold on.
Right.
So he's more of a McAfee fan than a Scott Kaplan fan, like as a personality?
I don't know if that's the case.
Okay,
but,
good. So he's a Cappy fan.
Take
Okay,
Dad
good.
out of the
But I don't
equation.
know.
Yeah.
He
What about,
could be
how about
more.
Sedano?
Oh,
Who does
no,
he
no,
like
no.
more,
No, he
Sedano
does
or
not. He does
McAfee?
not.
No, he's much more of a McAfee fan than a Sedano fan.
Oh.
He loves Sedano on TV. He doesn't love Sedano as much on radio. He likes McAfee more on radio.
Does Sedano know that?
He does, because
Okay.
Morales doesn't stop telling him that. By the way, Kasim, since you're playing all my favorite Mellencamp songs, you know my favorite one is called Check It Out from the Lonesome Jubilee album of 1987. Kasim, what year were you born, bro?
I was born in 03.
03.
Oh, my God.
So here I was a 17-year-old kid in my my Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme with a custom radio that I put in that thing, and I was driving around singing the song Check It Out from the Lonesome Jubilee album, John Mellencamp.
I was in high school in 03. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. In the end, let me tell you what's going to happen to John Mellencamp. Greatest thing that ever happened to his career.
He's still trending. So.
Because it's 73 years old and virtually forgotten about. Although he did just play the Hollywood Bowl not that long ago.
Okay.
Here's what McAfee will do if he's smart, and I think he is.
Oh, he'll open his show with the music.
Not only that,
Yeah.
he'll have Mellencamp on.
No, it's too early. It's too early to have him on. He's got to prod him a little bit.
Yeah, you got to
drag
play
it
out.
out.
You got to play out the beat for a
Because then
while.
having
first.
him on is like making peace of him.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he'll do it.
No,
I don't know if he'll do it.
I think he should wait. You gotta
I don't know
wait
if he'll
till,
do
like,
it
next
tomorrow.
week. I think, especially if the Pacers advance
No,
tonight.
yeah, you gotta build a bit
You got to
up.
build it up for
Oh,
like the finals.
Dude, I'm just telling you guys right now. I don't know if it's tomorrow. I don't know if it's next week. I don't know if it's a month from now.
Well, we're telling you it's not tomorrow.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just here to
definitely
tell
not
you that he will be very smart to get Mellencamp on. Mellencamp.
Oh, Brunson heating up. Here's Sedano. Brunson for three.
You're ahead of me.
23-13 next. Well, I'm ahead of you because Kasim was kind enough to come in here and find it.
Yeah. See, I've got it at Knicks 20-13. Here's Brunson from three. Good. And it's 23-13 now.
Thanks, Cappy.
You're
for
welcome.
repeating what I
By
just
the
said.
way,
I didn't hear
12
you.
seconds ago.
I
My
didn't hear a
favorite.
word
I'm
you
going
said.
through some of these tweets, like just ripping this guy, and my favorite one is, "Thank you, John, for speaking on behalf of Hoosiers. We rely on your ability to sing and play guitar to provide moral clarity to us all. Where would we be without you?"
I know. This is
That's
the
a great
greatest thing that
tweet.
ever happened to Mellencamp. I'm telling you right now.
Okay, hold on, Cappy. I'm now Lindsay's describing, right, everyone's reaction to it and everybody's ripping Cougar. It's almost making me go away from my original take, which was to rip him, to be like, well, hold on. Let's examine where he's coming from just a little bit. It is kind of a sweet, sincere take if he really feels that way, which it sounds like he does. So
Wait, but the thing is,
it's not the worst. Like, it's a little tone deaf, but like it's not the worst thing in the world. So that everybody on social media now has to kind of gang up on the guy. I don't know. It's starting to push me the other way.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
But if
Pro
you look
Mellencamp.
if you look at all of these tweets, a lot of them are people that are sharing their experiences about how he couldn't be less correct about the whole hospitality thing, because there's people that are like, I was a fan of yours and I saw you at a restaurant and I wanted to take a picture with you and you spit in my face or you blew smoke in my face. Like, all these people are saying how
I believe all that.
how not hospitable he is.
I don't
Oh,
know.
I'm sure I believe
Well,
that.
I will
I'm
say-
sure nobody was making things up to just make him look like an ass. Sure.
Yeah, there's a little exactly. Everybody's just following the trend, and this is why I don't look at replies as much on social media. But I will say, there's a reputation for a state in the Midwest for being nice, and it is not Indiana. Okay,
Tell me it's Minnesota.
It's Minnesota.
There
It
you go.
literally say Minnesota nice. That's what people. Thank you. That's what people say. So I don't appreciate. I think that Mellencamp has his Appleis wrong. Okay. The nice Appleis is Minneapolis, not Indianapolis.
Hey, listen.
Get it straight.
If John Mellencamp can milk this, here's what happens. McAfee invites him into his studio. Mellencamp performs a song on the McAfee show, and Mellencamp gets a career revival with young people that had no idea who he was until he ripped McAfee.
Hold on.
I don't
Let's
think
ask.
so.
Let's
I don't
ask
think
Kasim.
that part's going to happen.
Let's ask Kasim. So, Kasim, you hadn't heard Mellencamp's music much before that,
I have
right?
not, no.
Okay. So I'm just going to take a guess, and correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. Actually, here, can you educate me on something first? Who are your 5 favorite artists of all time? Like, who's your top? And if you don't want 5, you can do 3. But I need some background as to what you usually listen to.
5 favorite?
Yeah.
Just give 3.
I'll give probably Drake is up there.
Okay.
Oh,
good,
damn.
Good.
Wow.
I'll go. This is tough. I don't know.
It's not that hard, Kasim. Come on,
Nah,
man.
this
You
is
can
actually
do
kinda
it.
tough.
Come on. No, you can do it.
I'll say Jay-Z.
Okay, Jay-Z, good answer.
Excellent
good answer.
Good.
Excellent
all right,
answer.
That's all I need. That's all I need.
Okay, you
okay.
got it.
Now, Kasim, you just heard Mellencamp. You heard like 3 or 4 of his songs. My guess is
2.
that, unlike what Cappy suggested, that he's going to have this he's going to go on McAfee show, he's going to play his music, and all of a sudden young people are going to like it. That doesn't just make you want to like listen to a ton more John Mellencamp, does it?
Probably not. No.
Okay.
Well,
Very
wait,
good.
time out. I'm calling
Sorry.
a timeout.
Sorry, Cappy.
Because but Michael, you're missing something here in your analysis.
Oh, please inform.
So, Kasim,
Sir.
tell me how frequently you watch or listen to Pat McAfee.
Probably I'll say like once a week, maybe.
Okay. Would you say that McAfee is like your favorite sports talk radio guy?
Probably not.
Okay, so here's the problem, Mike. I don't think Kasim is the McAfee listener
All right, so
per
let's
se.
get Justin in here. Is Justin home?
He is home.
Bring him in.
Hey,
Oh,
Just.
Yeah,
him in.
I'd like to meet Justin.
Hey,
You got
Just,
another
come on in here a
headset?
second.
Do you got another headset?
I don't have one handy here. I mean, I did. Wait, hold on. Time out.
think you do. I feel
Talk
like you
amongst
do.
yourselves. Talk
Yeah.
amongst yourselves for a second.
So
Well, okay.
I would also like to say, Michael Trudell,
Yeah, please.
that upon some research that he kind of got like maybe not necessarily canceled, but there is a portion of the population
there's
that's not
some
a huge
stuff out
fan
there
of
on
his
him?
because he's known for going to Colts games and sitting in the suite and not standing for the national anthem. He's also known for calling out hecklers and storming off stage and leaving concerts early because, for whatever reason. So
Wow.
I would
So
say
it
that
sounds
he's
like
not
all the
most liked guy.
All
Okay,
right,
so
hold on a second. Here's my son, Michael. Let me introduce you to my son, Justin. Just come on down here a second. You want to sit on my lap?
No.
Okay. Mike,
Justin, Mike
here's my
Trudell,
20
pleasure to meet
Can
you.
you hear
Hi,
Mike?
Justin.
What's going on?
Hi, Justin.
Hello.
So, Justin, you are a McAfee fan, correct?
Big fan.
Do you like McAfee on radio better than Sedano, or Sedano better than McAfee on radio?
You want me to answer this?
Yes, Justin, we're on YouTube only. This is Truth Hour.
I mean, that's a hard comparison, as McAfee is kind of more of a gang, kind of like more of their like whole situation there more.
So it's not really that hard. You prefer McAfee.
But you love George on the
No, but
sidelines, right?
Yeah, but he's saying that it's like so McAfee's more like the Wu-Tang Clan, right? There's like 9 or 10 guys in there, so the whole it all adds to it as opposed to just like a solo
We're
artist.
talking
So yeah,
about
I get
like
it.
just sports talk. Just sports talk.
All right. So Justin, you tell Mike and Lindsay and Kasim what you thought of John Mellencamp today and what he said about McAfee.
I think it's just lame. I mean, if you know anything about Indiana sports, he's like the whole spokesman for that whole state. I mean, anything he like does is good for them. Always has the coach on, players on. I mean, it's just dumb.
Okay, now, do you know any John Mellencamp songs?
Nope. Last night was the first time I ever heard his name. So
okay.
Are you familiar?
Even hold on.
Wait,
But your
time out.
dad says he's like one of his favorite guys ever.
Oh,
You
I
never
love
played
him.
You never
but
played
do
in
I'm a
the
huge
car?
fan.
But do you think that
No.
Cap gets the aux cord in the card? No.
no,
Well-
but I mean, growing up, that was not what was played in the car. Growing up, it
Oh,
was,
Justin, what was playing in the car?
it was more Creed. It was more, yeah, a lot of Creed. That was
Really? Pearl
a
Jam?
lot of Pearl Jam.
How about Foo Fighters? Is it Foo Fighters?
Grateful Dead?
Weezer, Green
Grateful
Day.
Dead? Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so not a lot of hip hop.
So not
Wait,
but
Nickelback?
Justin, tell Mike who are your favorite hip
Yeah,
hop
who are your
artists that you
favorite?
like?
Well, I've kind of switched over to country the last few years. I moved
Oh.
to West Virginia, so that kind of changed up a few things.
Okay, sure, as it would.
But I mean, I love Post Malone. That's kind of my
Extremely
Big fan of
talented.
his.
I
Love
love
that
Post
guy.
Malone. He's great.
I
Very
mean,
talented.
if I
Oh,
was
by the
gonna
way, have you ever seen? Did you see Post during COVID do the Nirvana set?
Yes,
in
that
his set?
was amazing.
That was awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah, I saw him in San Diego, which was amazing.
That was awesome. Okay, I like it.
Okay, so I like Mellencamp. I've always liked Mellencamp. He's one of my all-time favorites. I like American rock and roll. So now, if Mellencamp were to come on to McAfee, and Mellencamp were to play a song, and they were to sort of bury the hatchet, don't you think that you might, as a young 25-year-old male who follows McAfee, you might actually be inspired to find out more about Mellencamp if McAfee gives him a seal of approval? Would you agree or disagree with that statement?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone will go outside to listen to him, though, like after that.
But if McAfee gives him some love, you might.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Okay.
Like, you're not going to go
You feel
and
like I'm leading the witness,
Wait,
don't you,
you're
Mike?
not-
That's
you're-
right. That's what I felt like.
You're
And
not
Justin,
going to go, like, download his songs or put them on your playlist, right?
No.
I mean, look.
Well, but if you like country, you're going to like Mellencamp.
Well,
No, Cap, you're trying to, like, push him into liking
this is the thing, Cappy, is that Justin clearly loves you. Okay, he respects you, he likes you. So he doesn't want to, he doesn't want to venture too far, maybe outside of the way that you suggested. But you were leading the witness a
we're
little
keeping it
bit,
real.
and I thought that Justin did a great job of acknowledging your point while also saying, I'm not so sure that I would go right to my car and pull up Spotify and play John Cougar Mellencamp on my drive home just because he was on the McAfee show. That's what it sounded like to me.
What do you think, Just?
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I don't know what he sounds like, so I feel like it's not fair.
Okay. Kasim, could we possibly get because I had earlier, I asked for Little Pink Houses.
Well, so Justin's being open-minded, though.
What's
He's
his
saying,
most popular song, Cap?
Well, I think you played Jack and Diane, but I think Check It Out from the Lonesome Jubilee album 1987 is like my favorite song. You know?
But it can't be that much of your favorite if Justin's never even heard of it.
No, it's my favorite Mellencamp song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, but Justin was too busy listening to Creed because that's what you were playing the whole time.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
open.
And
I
by the
guess
way,
there was some Creed.
There's some good Creed songs.
Yeah.
You know?
I created my own prison.
Okay, all right, Justin.
Oh, yeah.
This
Listen
is
to this song
Mellencamp.
right here. This is Mellencamp. And you like country music, so listen to this song. By future generations, climbing on the highways that we built. I hope they have a better understanding.
Not bad.
Got on Monday.
By the way, Cappy, my favorite artist that comes closest to country, because I don't really listen to a lot of country, but would be James Taylor. Love James Taylor. Yeah, so I could basically every James Taylor song I could sing.
Yeah, love James Taylor.
Yeah, but he's not country.
He's coming to the
more like
Hollywood Bowl,
folk.
I think. Or did he just come to the Hollywood Bowl?
I saw him at the Hollywood Bowl a couple years ago.
Okay, Justin, what do you think? You got a little snippet
Yeah,
there.
what do you think, Justin?
I mean, it's pretty solid, pretty standard 80s music, in my opinion.
To your loved one
Standard.
is all that we learned about happiness.
What I want to know, though, Justin, so ultimately, though, yes, sure, you like McAfee, you like the show, but and if they recommend an artist, okay, maybe you'll check it out. But then how that
Check
artist...
It Out's the name of the song.
Okay, good. But then when you actually hear it, that's what's gonna tell you whether or not you're gonna keep listening to it. Your own ears, not if a media personality tells you to like it or not. Right?
Well, I would say they've done a lot of things with Jelly Roll, and they've kind of built up a following for him. And it's more of they have him on so much that people know the person a lot more, so they tend to want to try to follow him more. So I think
fair.
They
I found out about Jelly Roll through Joe Rogan back when I used to listen to him before he turned all Trump.
Yeah, so I think if they had Mellencamp few times, I bet people would be more interested in him.
And by the way, Mike, you have to understand, Justin and I are very, we're sort of McAfee fans because, first of all, an ESPN executive a few weeks ago.
Because you're both kickers?
Well, because I played at Pitt. McAfee's from Pittsburgh. Justin was a kicker at West Liberty University in West Virginia. So there's a lot of that Pittsburgh, West Virginia kicker thing. And this ESPN executive was on a call. This is probably 3 or 4 months ago. And he goes like this to me. He goes, so, you're the middle-aged McAfee. And I'm like, I'm the what? And he said, yeah, you're the middle-aged McAfee. And I said, why would you say that? And he said, well, you were in sports radio long before he was. He goes, and you were the kicker at Pitt. He was the punter at West Virginia. You kind of say some outlandish kind of crap all the time. He does too. You're the middle-aged McAfee. And I said, you know what? I think I'll take it as a compliment. What the hell?
I would take it as a compliment. Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
I mean,
all right, Justin, back to it, man. Go do your thing.
Thanks, Justin. Well
Justin,
done.
Mike
Thanks,
says
Justin.
thank you, and so does Lindsay, and
well
so
done,
does
Justin.
Kasim.
I like Justin.
Yeah, Justin's a good man. He's
Justin's
a good man.
a bro.
He's a bro. All the guys like him. Like,
I like Justin.
DeAndre likes him, and
he's a
Parker
good guy.
likes him.
Let me ask you two things. I have a follow up about Justin, but
Yeah.
also, do you take breaks during the YouTube portion of the
You
show?
know, they tell us we
Or what?
can. I just
You
don't
just-
even
you
like
just
to.
push
I
right
just
through?
Kinda go.
I just
you know,
roll.
but you
I go
wanna
an
take a
hour
break 'cause
straight.
we can
I
if
was
you'd
no,
like
I just
to.
was just curious. I wasn't going to step on something if
Well,
I
what
asked
we
to follow
like
up
to
about
do,
Justin.
or what we discovered that we could do, is we can actually go until like 5:50-ish something, and then we'll take the break there.
Well, hey, I just want to remind everybody that I want you to become part of our blackjack tournament, which is happening next Friday, June 6th, at the Bicycle Casino. And you should RSVP by going to ESPNLA.com. And by the way, when you're on the website, ESPNLA.com, click on the picture of me holding the cash, and you're going to be part of our first ever blackjack tournament. ESPNLA.com. Go there right now to RSVP. So, Kasim, after playing 3 songs for you of John Mellencamp,
no.
You're still not going to give him a listen, huh?
I think it might make the rotation now. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait, what?
NGL, not going to lie, he
He's
said.
just saying that. Come on,
Look,
let's be
Kasim,
serious.
Come on, Kasim.
Kasim,
Come
look,
on.
Mellencamp's fine, but if you're wanting to get into a different genre, so my dad raised me on classic rock, right? So like even a little bit older than
Same.
Mellencamp. So like we can go down that rabbit hole, and I think I can get you some music that's better
Like Pink
than
Floyd?
Mellencamp. I mean, yeah, look, we can go through, but like Boston,
Jethro Tull?
CCR,
Okay, I'm going
obviously the
further
Beatles
back.
would be the way into that. Rolling Stones, like et cetera, et cetera. But then for like what I listened to with my friends was 90s hip hop. So this is before. So Drake would be young for me, right? For you, obviously, he's going to be older, right? So Drake would have been Tupac and Biggie and Wu-Tang Clan and the Tropical Quest and so on and so forth. But like Mellencamp, good. Solid. I'm not. If it comes on, I'm not like, oh, what is this? This is terrible. But I'm not necessarily seeking it out.
Well, and by the way, for me, go back to the 80s because Run DMC and LL Cool J and those kinds of
Public Enemy.
early hip hop, yes.
KRS One,
NWA, all
Sugar
these
Hill
kinds.
Gang.
Right, exactly. Well, a hip hop, a hibbit to the hibbit, a hip hip, a hop and you don't stop a rocket.
To the bang bang boogie.
Right. Yeah. Beastie Boys.
Beasties, sure.
Yeah, that's kind of my early days. All right, hey, look, it is 5:37, and Mike, if you're good to continue on commercial free, I'd love to get to a little big deal or no deal.
Yeah, let's get to it. Can I ask a 30-second follow up on your son Justin though?
Yeah.
What order is he? Birth order again?
He's first. He's 25 years
so
old.
he's the oldest.
He's my oldest.
Okay. So I was going to say he struck me as he has the demeanor of somebody that has sisters, which is a compliment. So like all of my nicest friends growing up had older sisters. And so I thought maybe he had like one of the sisters was older, but if you have 3, it probably ends up serving the same thing. Basically, women have this generally good effect on a sibling, I think. And in terms of just how what the demeanor of that child is. So I was just curious what your take on that was.
He's a pretty good man, Mike. He just finished today, as a matter of fact, a 90-day internship at the company Upper Deck, which is like a card store. Not store, but like
Deck is, card
but
company.
One of the highlights of his internship over the last 3 months, because he just recently graduated college. Justin, is it okay if I say this now? I'll say it. I don't care. You know what he did, Mike? About 2 weeks ago.
Tell me.
He drove from Carlsbad to L.A. to meet. You ready for this? To meet Anthony Davis in a hotel, so that he could set up and have Anthony Davis sign like literally thousands of pieces, jerseys, balls, all that kind of stuff. So that's how, all these collectors get these authenticated autographs and stuff, is through companies like that. And he got to do all that. And he's like, Dad, I was really surprised. Anthony Davis is much skinnier in real life than I would have thought. Because I never really think of him as being skinny.
Well,
his
his legs,
No longer
especially
working out
lower
with
legs,
LeBron,
skinny, and his lower arms. But like he's got AD does have big shoulders, but they're big in that they're wide. There isn't necessarily a lot of like bulk like on top of it. So that makes sense. I mean, he's taller than you think. Even if you see him on TV and you see him in person, it's like okay, he's legit tall. Also a great guy. I do want to say this about AD. Love AD, great person. Always loved talking to him. Always loved interviewing him. So nothing but positives for me on AD.
Yeah, and my son said the same thing. He's like, he was really cool. He was great to hang out with for the day. By the way, shout out to our social media team that continues to put in the middle of our YouTube.
Yeah, I've seen my booty drop a lot of times.
The booty drop is good. It's an amazing dance move, and you deserve a lot of credit for the booty drop. You deserve a ton of credit for it.
Yeah, thank you, Cappy. Lindsay, would you have our social crew text me that clip so that I can send it to my wife because she wants it.
She should post it.
Jonathan and Anthony, shout out to you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, well done.
Jonathan and Anthony are in the back. These guys are. I love both of those guys. As a matter of fact,
I especially love Anthony because we share an allegiance.
What's your allegiance?
We have the football club.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I love Anthony too.
One
We
that
share
sucks, but we still love.
We share a love for a particular donut shop, Anthony and I. But I'm partial to Jonathan as well because I loved his interview with Soulja Boy. And I love the way he called him Soulja, not Soulja Boy. He didn't call him Mr. Boy.
What would you call him, Cappy?
I probably would have called him Soulja Boy, but I think Jonathan took what I would have done also is I would have abbreviated it to just Soulja, or I might have just called him Soul.
Well, Jonathan is a great interviewer, and he's very charismatic, and I feel like he definitely has a future in maybe, I don't know if it's like sidelines or more so, because he has a great personality. And also, he's responsible for one of my favorite drops.
Drop Linka W.
Because he interviewed some little kids about the Luka trade, and I thought that was hilarious. But just he's very disarming and very he's a nice guy.
When he interviewed Soulja Boy, I loved it. He was like, "So Soulja, tell me this."
Where do I go to hear this?
Jonathan, you'll have to get Mike the
Jonathan, you can come in here. Why don't you come in studio for a minute?
Yeah, come on in here, man.
We can chat with you. Also, Anthony, I love Anthony. He's become an OG somewhat now, because we often have our interns that get hired. And Anthony's been here for a while now. And he also is a big fan of Chewy. He's a big Chewy fan.
Oh, he's a big Chewy fan. What's up, Anthony?
He took Anthony once took Chewy for a walk and took him to Lazy Dog. And he got him this, they gave him a toy. It's like a backpack toy. And it's still one of Chewy's favorite toys. It's hilarious.
Knicks 39, Indiana 32, 7 minutes and change to go in the second quarter. So if you're watching while listening, glad you guys are hanging out with us. Okay.
Wait, he can talk back from back there. I forgot.
All right, Cappy. So that was a long distractor from what I wanted
30
to
seconds.
get into. Well, and I was going to say I had a whole thing on the Knicks and Pacers because Cappy, now clearly they believe they can win the series with how they're playing. So that's the takeaway from watching the first 14 minutes or whatever.
But the difference between the Knicks tonight and Minnesota last night
16 minutes
is that the Knicks are home and Minnesota was on the road.
That's part of it.
Minnesota went to Oklahoma City to take their beat down, get on the plane, and go home, and then go on vacation. The Knicks want to win this game to do this in Madison Square Garden.
And then they just got to win one road game.
Right, and
that's
then,
the way they feel. Yeah.
Yes, but what's going to happen is I suspect the Knicks will win tonight. And by the way, I mean, it's an 8-point game with 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. Do not count anything out yet. I mean, it's way too early.
Yeah, the Pacers were down 9 with 1 minute to go, and they won game one, which is why the series is what it is right now.
Not to mention that New York was down 20 and came back and won game 3. So these games are obviously never over.
Nowhere.
So, interesting game. What's going on?
Okay, so really quick for Big Deal or No Deal.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to bring this up because Cappy and I talked about this in our show prep. And since we've only got 12 minutes because we're going to be done here by 5:55. So Terry Bradshaw was asked about this whole Aaron Rodgers playing, coming to Pittsburgh. Obviously, Terry Bradshaw's he's not only, he's Steelers lore. He's like a legend there. That guy will never, he'll never buy a drink again in that town for the rest of his life. So he was asked about Aaron Rodgers, and here's what he said about him.
What do you think about possibly Aaron Rodgers being the quarterback?
That's a joke. He shouldn't. That is just, to me, is a joke. What are you going to do? Bring him in for 1 year? Are you kidding me?
That's not the Steelers' way, right?
No, man. That guy needs to stay in California and go, somewhere and chew on bark and whisper to the guys out there.
100%. These guys on the show, Mr. Bradshaw, know I'm not a fan of his. We've been around each other personally, and he was not a kind person.
Now, he does not. I had to go over and introduce myself to him. He's not. I had to go, hey, Aaron, I'm Terry Bradshaw. I know he knows me, but I just felt like I better tell him who I am.
Yeah.
And not, you walk in there and you get in his presence and you feel like it's going to start snowing.
Okay, so it's what he said about Aaron Rodgers, a big deal or no deal, Cappy?
I don't think it's a big deal. I think the first part of it is that Look, it's getting late now, right? I mean, the Rams are in OTAs. So are other teams around the NFL. If Aaron Rodgers was going to be playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers, he should have already been signed. He should be in there. He should start to get to know the offense. He should start to get to know the personnel. He should get to know the city, the organization, et cetera, et cetera.
But he didn't mention any of that.
Terry Bradshaw?
Yeah.
No, but the host who was interviewing him and wherever he was in Arkansas or something like that was like saying it's not the Steeler way. And so I agree, it's not the Steeler way. And I also don't think it's the Mike Tomlin way. And I think Mike Tomlin is the kind of
what's not the Steeler way?
To go out and get a quarterback under like a 1 year, especially a player who's as controversial as Aaron Rodgers. I don't think that's really the Steelers' mentality. Now, you might say,
they haven't had a good quarterback in a while.
I was going to say,
since Ben Roethlisberger.
I thought that he was meaning more like this guy is not the Steeler way. Like, he's go stay in California and chew on the bark and talk to the gods. Like, I thought he was ripping him way more for his personality than anything else.
Oh, no, I agree. But my point is that from a football standpoint, if he's not signed right now by the Steelers will be making a massive mistake if they sign Aaron Rodgers. If they signed him 3 months ago or 2 months ago, whatever, if he were in camp right now, I'd say, hey, I'd like to see what happens for a year, maybe two, but I just, if he's not there by now, I wouldn't do it.
I can bring my own NFL fandom into this. You know, I'm a Vikings fan, and there was a question, right? Okay, what's going to happen with Sam Darnold? I didn't think he was going to be worth the money, and they drafted J.J. McCarthy, but that thought went out there, of course. Hey, well, what about Aaron Rodgers? Brett Favre went from the Packers to the Vikings. I was like, no, absolutely not. So I get that part of it from Steelers fans. At the same time, the Vikings did draft a quarterback in the first round that they traded up to get last year and have their, in theory, quarterback of the future, and we got to see what he has, et cetera. Well, who's going to start for the Steelers next year? Right now, like if
Mason Rudolph.
Okay, I mean, who's excited about that?
Nobody.
Okay,
I am as a Browns fan.
So that's the only part of it where, again, I wouldn't want him. I still don't. I understand all the stuff about the personality, but in terms of like, could he come in and play better for 1 year, just on a 1 year deal, and then in theory, you draft your quarterback of the future or whatever, maybe you trade for somebody. So that argument I can buy to an extent. But Cappy, it is persuasive what you just said about, like, I was talking to some people with the Chargers, like they're about to play a game soon, like a preseason game. Like it's getting there.
We're less than 100 days away now.
Yeah, so like that
98
part,
days.
and I think isn't it even earlier, like the Hall of Fame game?
Well, yeah, but people.
Yeah, but I'm saying 100 days till like the regular season.
Yeah, but the Hall of Fame game is is much less than that. Like
I think it's let's see.
End of July, last week of July.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
So it's June.
Right. Listen,
so
there's also talk that the Steelers may make a trade, possibly for Kirk Cousins, who is not in Atlanta's camp right now, according to the reports.
He's probably hoping for.
Oh, I'm sure.
Of course, yeah.
But listen, I'm with Terry. Is it a big deal what Terry Bradshaw said? I don't really think so.
The only thing about it being
It'll be a big deal if they sign him.
Well, just how critical he was, though, is interesting. And so that's where it's one of those, like, well, was this one of those, like, was it a town hall type thing? Like, was it supposed to just be in the room and then someone leaked the audio? Or is Bradshaw just at the stage where he's old enough and he doesn't care?
Yeah, he don't care.
I think it was,
Okay.
and I think it was like a remote broadcast situation.
Okay,
and I also think that Bradshaw kind of sounded like a guy who was a little bit pissed off.
He definitely
that he had to introduce himself.
He wouldn't have said that on like Fox, though, right? Like, it seemed like...
I could see Terry Bradshaw saying whatever he wants. Yeah.
Okay.
But he definitely was mad that he big timed him. I had to introduce myself to him, like, oh dang.
Yep.
It'll be interesting if they sign him. I think. Like, I'm rooting for it even more now.
And hey, by the way, speaking of the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers quarterback situation, Lindsay, in Cleveland, there's been a lot of talk about Kenny Pickett, who was a first-round pick of the Steelers, who the Steelers gave up on very early, who then went to Philly and was a backup and has a Super Bowl ring because he took a knee in the Super Bowl. That Kenny Pickett, there's some people that think he might find himself as a starting quarterback of the Browns this year.
Well, that was the talk. And then, so funny story, it's OTAs right now. People aren't really, like, locked in on that. You've got the reporters that are posting the pictures and videos that are from the media that were finally allowed to see a practice. I believe it was yesterday. And, the Browns have 4 quarterbacks. They have Flacco, they've got Kenny Pickett, they've got Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel. And ESPN Cleveland thought it would be funny to have they had 4 guys out there, and they were charting the passes of each of the 4 quarterbacks because they all got reps. And they posted this graphic yesterday of like the completion percentages and touchdowns, interceptions of all 4 quarterbacks. And it went completely viral because everyone's like, oh, look at this, man. Like, Shedeur did pretty well. And so now, you know, everybody's talking about the fact that, like, Shedeur had more completions than Dylan Gabriel, and he had he didn't have any interceptions, but Kenny Pickett did. And so I think a lot of people, at least from my point of view, are rooting for Shedeur because that's, like, the most exciting thing to happen. I think that if Kenny Pickett is our starting quarterback, we're in big trouble, and I would rather see Joe Flacco start the season. But
by the way, the Knicks are on a 12-2 run. It's 46-34. There's 5 minutes and change to go here in the second quarter. And the Knicks have just, like I said, gone on a big run. Now make it 14-2. Yeah, make it 14-2.
Cappy, before we get to dealers, dealer's choice.
I'm a ball
here.
knower, Michael.
Yes, that's right. Wait, hang on.
Ball knowers. Ball knowers.
Give the double ball knowers. Before we get to your dealer's choice here, Cappy.
Yep.
Really quick, I want to say that the road to global glory runs through Los Angeles. Join ESPN LA and Michelob Ultra for a FIFA World Club Cup watch party. Let me say that again. FIFA Club World Cup watch party this Saturday at Tom's Watch Bar, LA Live. Kickoff is at 7:30. Get there early, grab your spot, enjoy giveaways and some ice-cold Michelob Ultras presented by ESPN LA and Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer. That's this Saturday at Tom's Urban at LA Live. Kickoff at 7:30. Come party with Michelob Ultra and 710 ESPN.
All right, very good.
Dealer's choice. We got 4 minutes.
Oh, it's dealer's choice time now?
Yeah, because we're ending at 55, remember?
Dealer's choice, real deal, brought to you by Seller's Advantage. Hey, if you want to sell your house before you call an agent, call Seller's Advantage. They'll buy it with an as-is competitive cash offer. No repairs needed. They make selling easy. Call 888-390-AS-IS for that no-obligation offer. Or better yet, visit sellersadvantage.com. Mike, have you ever ridden in a Waymo?
The driverless car?
Right.
No.
Linz, have you ever, because we've talked about these.
I see them everywhere lately, but I have not ridden one.
Very, very interesting article today in the LA Times. Okay. There's apparently a war going on between the residents of Santa Monica and these Waymo vehicles. Have you guys heard about this?
Please tell us.
Okay, here's how the article reads.
Yeah.
City officials in Santa Monica, a judge, and even the police have been forced to intercede after residents who say the self-driving cars are a nuisance have banded together, all these folks, against the local 56-vehicle fleet. They've reached out to the city, they've called Waymo, and now they're taking unconventional tactics. They're using cones, they're using cars, and sometimes they're even standing in front of the Waymos because they can't stand the fact. Now, listen to this. Waymo rented a parking lot that was already populated by, Mike, what do you call the charging stations? I guess you just call them a charging station, right?
Yeah.
So there must have been a charging station in Santa Monica that could accommodate, let's say, 50 cars. Imagine 50 people that all have electric cars that live in apartments that want to take their car or they don't have the Tesla home charging station, right? And so people take their cars and they take them to these charging stations. Waymo they leased from another party this entire parking lot for their vehicles exclusively. So now what's happening is these Waymos are driving into this neighborhood. They're parking in this parking lot, and apparently when they back up, they make a lot of noise. Does your electric vehicle make a lot of noise, Mike? I guess it's a law that an electric vehicle has to beep.
I've never even heard that.
Me neither.
No,
I was reading about it today.
Mine doesn't make any noise different from any other car backing up.
Maybe it's because it's autonomous.
Maybe. That might be the case. But anyway, city officials, the clashes have come as a surprise. They had no idea that Waymo had set up charging stations in Santa Monica. According to emails obtained by the LA Times, the city learned about the Waymo lots only after complaints from residents. And what they found out was they are subleasing this parking lot, and it's turning into a nightmare for all of these Santa Monica residents. And so now there is literally a war going on between the residents of Santa Monica and the company Waymo. What do you guys think about that?
Waymo. Only because, like, you get it. The people need to come first. They're not even real cars. Like, they're not even real people.
According to the residents of Santa Monica and according to the LA Times, the beeping never seems to stop, largely due to a state regulation requiring electric vehicles to audibly reverse like delivery trucks. They beep as they back out of the charging spots, and they beep as they reverse to navigate around one another. They beep in the morning as they head out to pick up passengers, and they beep at night as they return to charge up.
Hell no.
I don't know. I mean, have you guys ever been in New York City? Or beeping happens.
Sure,
I'm not that persuaded by that. They bought the lot, so therefore they can use it.
They're leasing. They're subleasing.
Or whatever. Same difference.
Anybody.
They're paying for it. I mean, I just I'm more thinking of the Tesla, all of the chargers that they have. They've put in a lot of infrastructure now. But they don't charge any car. They'll only charge the Teslas. I would have preferred that they would have done that for the greater good now that every car maker is going to have an electric car. So I'd like to increase the general charging stations everywhere to be able to accommodate all cars, not just your brand, which is Tesla's the only one that's done that. So
stupid.
I'm much more against
Tesla
in this case than worried about Waymo leasing a lot and their cars make noise and they back up. I'm just sorry.
Unless it was your neighborhood.
Well, right. Here's the LA
put on
Times.
Some white noise.
Listen, the LA Times. The arrival in Santa Monica appears to have flown under the radar because they subleased the lot from another company and capitalized on the existing charging infrastructure. And according to a city spokesperson, they were not obligated to tell us because they're renting it from a third party. So I guess
did it on purpose.
Well, I guess the thing is that the residents of Santa Monica did not know this was happening and were not expecting this noise early in the morning and late at night. And now they're freaking pissed.
Yeah, well,
I would be too. I mean, if I'm sleeping and like one of my neighbor's car alarm is going off at like 3 a.m. and it doesn't stop, I will go outside and be like, "Hello, can somebody please?"
But it's not as loud as a car alarm, though.
But when you have hundreds of them or dozens of them, what is it? What'd you say, Cap? 50
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not all like going at
whatever.
once.
All right, whatever. I would find it very annoying. I'm sure
I just read the article and thought it was funny as hell that these folks in Santa Monica were like, wait a second, I like living here, and I wasn't expecting all that noise, and now all of a sudden there's all that noise. What the hell's going on here? And now there's a war between the residents of Santa Monica and Waymos.
At the end of the day, I would just sleep with earplugs because there's nothing else you can do about it, right?
I fall asleep with an AirPod in because it's I listen to podcasts while I go to sleep, and then but I do use white noise because otherwise I'll hear one of my 3 children stomping around their room at any parts of the evening.
Doesn't that hurt your
I just
ears?
lost another set of AirPods. God,
did you?
Darn it!
Come on, Cappy.
Cappy, those things are tracked on
I don't know.
AirPods.
I can't find them, dude.
Cappy, how did you think this hour of YouTube went?
I actually like this hour of YouTube.
Okay, good.
I think it was great. We had a Justin Kaplan appearance.
Yeah, we went deep on Mellencamp.
Yeah.
We've shown the booty drop like 100 times. We're showing it again
drops.
right now. Watch it. Boom!
Look at that.
A great booty drop by Mike Trudell. Thank you very much to Anthony and Jonathan in the back who are running social and running and directing the show on YouTube and Twitch and Twitter and Facebook. Thank you very much to Kasim. Hey, Kasim, how'd you think today went? This is your first day of really operating this show.
It was fun. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Great conversation.
Yeah, Kasim did a nice job.
Yeah, you did a really good job.
He'll be back tomorrow, too, but you won't be here, Cappy.
Yeah, tomorrow I got a high school graduation. This is it, man. This is it. It's all over from here. This is Rachel's son. So, I mean, not really like a stepson, but kind of like a stepson, And this is it. 6th kid through high school. So I'm out tomorrow.
Wow.
Got to go do the high school graduation thing. Mike, are you in tomorrow with George?
No, I'm out. I've got a 4th grade kind of graduation. Not graduation yet, but they've got like all these kind of ceremonies and stuff going on. So, yeah, Lindsay wasn't happy with me when I said I couldn't do it.
All right, well.
I was like, well, sorry.
We'll get Beto. Is Beto available tomorrow?
No. I think it might be Ramona. It's depending on how her cat feels when she picks her up from the vet.
Oh, okay. All right, well, listen, thanks to Lindsay and Kasim and Jonathan and Anthony and Michael Trudell for 1 hour of uninterrupted, unadulterated YouTube. So thanks to everybody for being here. Until tomorrow, shall I say? Peace out, everybody.
See ya.